Yeah, man. Welcome back.
Feeling better, recovering still.
Was it COVID or was it just stomach flu?
It was COVID.
15 seconds.
Mike's is hot. The Feds is watching. We in the building. All we need is what? We at 8. We need 5 more. Man, oh man, fellas. Welcome. Having a great night. Have a great night. Shaheed with the button down. Hey, did y'all see Shaheed's um Shaheed sent me a video. I posted it on a reel on the IG account.
I saw it.
Shaheed was Shaheed's like, look, I'm gonna give you seasickness at early in the morning, old clock. Okay. What's going on? Welcome, everybody. We see you in the building. We here. What's going on? We see about 5 people watching the live stream. Welcome everybody to Ask a Black Man Anything. Hopefully you all are doing amazing on this great evening, and we want to bring you our version of what we believe is absolutely great. So make sure you are tuned in to our show. This is the greatest show on this side of the planet. I am going to mute myself in just a second because I need to jump out.
Colin, how's it going, brother? Good to see you.
It's going good. Mr. West is in the building. How are you?
Indeed. I'm good, man.
Glad you feeling better, bro.
Thank you.
Say what, Jerron?
I was telling Colin glad he's feeling better.
Right. I had to tell the ladies on IG if they ever need to see they want to see a man about a horse. The strapping young cowboys in the building for sure. Jerron, how's it been, man?
Hey, bro, it's been good, man. Another week, bro. Blessed to be among the living.
Right. That's for all of us. I think we all share that sentiment, brother.
Clifford, good to see you, man.
Right. For all of us, I think we all share that sentiment, brother.
Clifford, good to see you, man.
Yes, sir. So welcome everybody on Clubhouse. We want to definitely welcome you. If you are joining this amazing show, Ask a Black Man Anything, we are currently live on Clubhouse. We're also live on YouTube. But here's the thing. If you're live on YouTube and you're in listen only mode, here's what I want you to do. I want you to drop the Clubhouse feed and come over to YouTube to our main show, Ask a Black Man Anything on YouTube. Join us there because that is where you're going to be able to post questions and interact with the audience. We want to make sure that you are here with us and we are here with you. So some of us are on location and some of us are traveling. And so we want to bring it to you live and in color. So we want to welcome those who are on the show in our live. Make sure you like the broadcast. Hey, Leah, one of our faithful. Leah, text your girlfriends and tell them we got a special surprise. Some people that have stepped away for a couple of days because they had to take care of some business. They are back. So I won't tell nobody their names, but just know that we got some beautiful people that are our kings are back in the building. So again, if you're currently on Clubhouse, make sure you switch over to your app. You already got your phone in your hand. Go ahead and switch over to your YouTube app. Type in Ask a Black Man Anything. This is our 12th live show. Come on over. Join us in the comments. We welcome you to the show. Thank you for joining us. And with that being said, I want to take a moment. Hey, Cherie. Hey, Levon. Hey, everybody joining in on the Clubhouse stage. I want to reiterate that we are currently live on YouTube. So here's the deal. You got your phone in your hand already. Just flip right over to Clubhouse, to your YouTube app and go to youtube.com, or since you can pull the app open, if you don't need to go to the internet, Type in Ask a Black Man Anything and join us live on YouTube. We want to see you. Welcome you all. The raise hand feature is actually off on Clubhouse. So if you want to pose a question tonight, you want to come over to YouTube and type in again, Ask a Black Man Anything. And what you want to do is you want to click the link at the very top and cam up and pose your question. So if you have questions, if you want to help another young lady, if you want to offer some advice or wisdom or what have you, and you want to ask us a question about literally anything, we want to have you join us over on YouTube in the comments and on our live. You don't have to come on camera, but if you want to pose a question, we do want to see you there. So, with that being said, welcome everybody. I want to get to what's the most important part, which is our introductions, right? A lot of you may be new to Clubhouse. You may be new to our broadcast, Ask a Black Man Anything. Here's what I want to do I want to introduce you to these amazing generals that are here, right? So, Jerron, Colin, again, man, so glad that you're feeling better. Shaheed, Robert, West, and the other gentlemen that are here, go ahead and introduce yourselves, and let's get this show popping. Let's go.
Colin Hardiman, executive producer and founder of Amazing Media, a digital media company. We specialize in virtual event, hybrid events, video production, and all things content creation. So always glad to be here with my bros. It seems like it's been forever, ever since getting back from my trip and then going into a sick trip and been on bed rest since forever, it feels like. But yeah, glad to be back at 100% health and here in this room. So yeah, let's get it. Next.
I'll go next. I'm Jerron, clinical therapist from Mississippi. It's always great to be here. Good to see the brothers that we haven't seen in a little bit of time. Great to be among the living. Blessed to be here. Looking forward to the conversation tonight. And with that being said, I'm going to go and pass it to Robert.
Robert Longmire from Bakersfield, California. How y'all doing today? I hope everyone is doing well. I am just ready to get it cracking, man. I don't even want to talk about myself today. I'm pretty great, though, but I don't really want to talk about myself today. Go ahead and pass. I think Shaheed ain't going to get it, right?
Hey, man, what's going on, everybody? It's Shaheed Muhammad out of Los Angeles, California. I'm not going to say too much. I'm excited as well. Let's get it going. Wes is on you.
Yes, sir. West Stewart, filmmaker, cinematographer, located in Los Angeles, California. And it is a pleasure to be amongst these gentlemen. Clifford, my brother, introduce yourself.
Hello, fellas. First of all, it's good to see everybody. It's been a while. I kicked it with a few guys just a moment ago, and I hadn't had a chance to speak to personally Shaheed and my main man, Colin. Good to see you guys. Good evening, and I missed y'all all, man. Good to be back. Clifford Clark, Detroit, Michigan. I am a couple things, pastor in the local Metro Detroit area, and then I'm also a licensed clinician, professional psychotherapist, specializing in marriage, relationship, sex addiction, and men's issues. So practicing, preaching, and teaching, all from what we call a psycho-Christian intersection. And that's enough about my boring careers. Let's get to it.
Man, nothing about you is boring. Good sir. And a heartfelt and a warm welcome to Colin. Man, we appreciate you for sharing with us that, you were down for a moment and that you had an amazing trip. But most importantly, you are upright and you're standing well. As a gentleman that we all admire, as someone who's doing amazing things and is trailblazing the path for us, right? To show us what, love should look like, right? How you should go after it and be voracious in those things. I want to say to you, King, thank you, number one, for showing us, right? We appreciate you, number two, for being in our life, right? Because here's the thing. Every man needs another man that will give them a clue as to what success looks like. And while every general does that in and of themselves, I thank you honestly for showing me how I can become a better man when it comes to this thing called love. Robert, please don't cry. Okay, please don't. It's not going to be mushy tonight. Um, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I am waiting for our super producer, wherever he may be. I'll say, Jerron, I'll say to you too. There he is. Jerron, I'll say to you, man. Life lessons can be learned in everything, but to learn at 30 how to swim is something that I think is something that every person needs to know. And by you sharing with me and with us fellas, what we needed to do, right? Learn a new skill, right? They sometimes you hear people say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But here's the thing: you defied that and you learned how to swim at 30. And man, I'm sure that you'll be super proficient because one of the things that I do as a philosophy is I practice certain habits, right? So you learn the skill, right? But then in order to become a better person, so people talk all the time about doing the work. What does the work look like? And the work looks like practicing the habits and the skills that you learn to become a better person. So I want to say thank you for sharing that with us, man. That was super, 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 super duper important for life because it let me know that it doesn't matter how old I get, I can learn something new. And I don't want to be the person that has come too far that I can't learn. And thank you for sharing that with us. Man, I'm
And
deep.
maybe, and
Go
Jerron,
ahead, Wes.
maybe you could teach a 50-year-old man how to swim after you're done, brother.
Wes
Hey,
mud wrestles. So
Listen, mud wrestling and swimming are two very, very different things.
big facts. Big facts. So I'm going down the list, man. Clifford, I mean Shahid. I want to say to you, man. I remember at one point when I had my waves popping, when I was, all that in a bag of chips, and I still am to some extent. But I want to say to you, I appreciate you, good sir, for reminding me that I need to always stay on point and always present my best self. I mean that. Like I needed that boost today because there are times when I'm by myself and when no one else is around and I think, damn, I'm just going, just throwing some old sweats and I'm just going to not really care, throwing some old kicks. I'm not going to care. But I needed that boost. And so to you, sir, I say thank you. Because man, if y'all go to Instagram account and y'all look at that Instagram reel, y'all will see that that kid's waves is popping, and I mean he know without a shadow of a doubt. In fact, I'll share this with you, Shahid, as a point of personal privilege. I had a conversation with a young lady today, and her conversation was, "How do I remain humble but also be confident?" And in fact, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually show her your video because of all of the guys. I mean, you're like you're like the humble brag, right? And I love it. I absolutely adore it, man. I look at you like an older little brother or older taller brother. No, a younger taller brother. Because I'm older, but whatever. Thank you, man, for being in my life. I appreciate you. Wes, Mr. Wes is in the building.
Good
Um,
sir.
man, Wes, I'll share with you, man. You show me every week how to be more empathetic. And I don't take that lightly because I was talking to my barber, and I know we had a joke a while back about me having a conversation with my barber. But my barber said something to me. He's like, "Man, sometimes you can be an asshole," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know." And it reminds me, Wes, when you're around, to show more love, and I appreciate that. Don't ever change that. Don't change that
Thank
at
you, man.
all. Shan, Shan, your business acumen, your tenacity, and your passion to be who you are, regardless of what people say.
Regardless of what people say.
That is a skill that if I learn at 14, 15, 41, that is a skill that I want to write in the check off box because I will be the first to tell you that there are times that I honestly look at what people say and I take that to heart. But that skill is something that you show every day. And that's not like every week. It's not like that's literally who you are. You could tell it oozes from your character, and that's something that I need. And I'm gonna take a moment real quick. I do see some people over on Clubhouse, and you can't see unless you're on YouTube. You can't see all of these generals that I'm actually addressing. But I want you all to know that I love these guys with a completely different kind of love, and we share a connection and a bond that is like none other. And I am glad that they are in my circle. There is a saying that show me the closest five people to you, and you'll be able to show you who I am. So I want you to if you're on Clubhouse, I want you to go over to YouTube and I want you to take a moment and look at these gentlemen that I mentioned so far. Colin, Shan, Wes, Shahid, Jerron. I'm gonna get to Robert and Clifford in just a moment. I want you to look at each one of them. And I want you to realize that this is vetting character, right? We've had plenty of people who've come and gone with Ask a Black Man, anything. But the staple is that good moral character has kept these gentlemen around. The money too, but we ain't gonna talk about that. I ain't paying them yet. Stan gonna cut the check. Y'all go to Shan for the check. No. With that being said, I do want to say to Robert, man, Robert, I'm gonna say something, man, and I don't want you to feel no way about this. You are like the softer side of Sears. I don't know if you remember that commercial. Come see the softer side of Sears. And I'm gonna say this, Robert, because most people don't realize this about me. Because as the host or the moderator, I'm kind of pulling the dark side and the Federation, whatever they call. I'm kind of the holding them both together to kind of bring some type of commonality, right? And kind of being sometimes neutral, sometimes this side, sometimes other side. You are a part of my soul that I truly connect to, man. Don't take your headphones off now, man. Don't go to crying. Okay, Robert out the crying. I'm gonna stop.
Right. You gotta get some tissue. Nah, you can continue, man. Take my kudos, boy. Take that.
Robert said he gonna take all his flowers. No, man. I honestly like that mushy part, bro. I'm mushy. I just don't show it on the show. I don't. And so thank you for being that. That's a testament, man. I there are times that I need that. And honestly, when I am in a dating situation, I get super mushy. So I might have to call on you to remind me, hey, peel it back a little bit. Last but not least, man, probably the one of the most important um, people to me um, on Ask a Black Man, right? And what I mean by that is because while it's bro love, there's a saying that says absence makes the heart grow fonder. And Clifford, no matter where you are, when you're not here, you are missed. You remind me to be a better father, a better minister, a better person, a better prayer warrior. You remind me to be, and even though I'm not a psychoanalytic therapist or whatever, people come to me for some form of counseling, and you remind me your presence, your ever steady presence reminds me to always be a voice to that people can listen to. All right, now I'm gonna need my own damn tissue. So I don't hold on, man up. Hold on. Okay. I felt it. I felt it coming. I was feeling all of that feeling right there. No, right. You do. No, no, don't be the pastor on me. Don't go pastor on me. It's all right, brother. Let him use you.
Let him use you.
Right. Is there one? No, but thank you, sir. With that being said, Shan, go ahead and do your introduction, sir. And then I'll do mine, and we'll go ahead with y'all. Sorry.
Hold on. Stand by. No, sir. You would not get away with this. Chris, my little brother. Let me tell you, man. you equally, those sentiments you shared about us all were heartfelt, and we appreciate them. I'm sure I can speak for each of the fellas, and we love you likewise, man. And your tenacity, your willingness to go the extra mile, all of your drive is really inspiring to myself. I'm sure to all the other fellas. And so, man, we thank you for those flowers, brother, and we send them right back to you wholeheartedly with love and appreciation, man. So I salute you. I love you, brother. Let's get it.
Yeah, we love you, Chris.
Likewise.
Absolutely. Much love, brother. Hey. Chris always goes above. Chris always goes above and beyond and makes sure all the bros are all right. I'm sure everyone on this stage has been called personally by Chris.
That's right.
Whether they're going through something. So I really appreciate you, Chris, because you, of course, don't have to do that, but you take time out of your day to make sure we're good. So, and you're an outstanding father as well. So really appreciate you, brother, and also look up to you as well. Your own tenacity, you possess your own tenacity and ambition, hustle, and drive, and really appreciate that about you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Negro.
Okay.
You talk about me possibly crying. Look who got the tears flowing, man. Those is real.
I know it's some dirt in my eyes. I was on this dusty trail earlier today.
Yeah, that's good though, bro. Because a lot of folks don't show black love. Like men, to show more love toward men. So
no, at all, man. And I was as a kid. I'll tell you guys this. I'll share a story. When I was a kid, we used to do this thing called PTL. And Clifford, I don't know if you've heard of it before, but in church, right? Because sometimes teenagers could be so ugly to each other. And so a lot of kids, if you had gained weight or if you were, didn't have the best clothes, you would get ribbed on or joned, depending on where you're from. In Buffalo, we call it getting ribbed on or joking or joned on. I don't know what everybody calls it everywhere else, but that's what would happen. And in the youth service, they used to call it PTL. So they would put one person in the middle of all of the youth, and you would have to say something positive and affirming. And it's actually, God reminded me of it today, and he said I need to do it with my kids. Just sit in a circle and say positive things. And it was called Provoke to Love. It is so affirming that when I was in a leadership class, they did it to me, and I'm telling you, I broke in tears because it was people who don't know you, but when they opened their mouth and started talking, they spoke life. Okay, with that being said, regulator, Mr. Producer, go ahead and do your introduction, sir. I'll do my...
Welcome, everybody, to Ask a Black Man Anything. The show, the weekly show, the Thursday night weekly show, the 6:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time weekly Thursday night show, where a group of 13 brothers get together and ask, and allows the crowd, the people, the you that's watching us to come and ask us anything that you want. Oftentimes people like to ask us questions about relationships, but we also get questions about politics. We get questions about religion. We get questions about being a black man in America. We come from different backgrounds. We are all different ages. My name is Shannon Rawls. I happen to be 49 years old. I'm right here in Los Angeles, California. I'm an entrepreneur. Love what I do. Been all over the world and had a lot of experiences, and I like to give my game to young men particularly, but I give a lot of advice to a lot of people when it comes to the two ships, as I say, entrepreneurship and relationships. So I appreciate you guys. If you guys want to follow me in particularly, and I got to get used to plugging myself, you can always just find me at Shannon Rawls everywhere. It's almost like all the other Shannon Rawlses in the world, we all have this silent agreement that I'm the one that get the username Shannon Rawls. It's been like that for the last 20 years. And so if you want to find me on Instagram or my YouTube channel or Facebook or anywhere, just use Shannon Rawls. I appreciate you guys being here. I'm going to throw it to Chris, and then we'll get into our hot topics of the day. Chris.
Man, I almost want to throw somebody else in the hot seat and let them share their flowers before we get into it, man. That was just so good for me. But anyways, I am Chris Davis. I'm on location in Orlando. I am in Atlanta, Georgia, where it's where you can find me on social media. I am the real Chris Davis on Instagram, where you can primarily find me there. Um, I'm from Buffalo, New York, small town with a big heart, home of the best chicken wings in the planet, the best pizza in the planet, and I prefer blue cheese over ranch. So, all the people that don't like blue cheese, shame on you. Man, with that being said, I want to welcome everybody to this amazing show that we have been doing live on YouTube since July 1st. We are currently on YouTube, so if you have your phone in your hand, uh, tag a friend, share it with a friend, text a friend, and tell them you need to be here. Put it on your Instagram page, put it on your Facebook page. I'm telling you how old I am. Matter of fact, put it on your MySpace page, right? I logged into my
Black
MySpace
Planet.
like a week ago. No, no, we don't want Black Planet. No, put it on all your social medias, and share with your friends that there are a group of people that are giving honest feedback. And I want to say from the bottom of my heart, that before we get into our hot topics, I, as the host of the show, I want to apologize if we have not created a safe space for you to feel like you can come and ask a question. But we're changing that. We're changing our culture. We want you not changing the culture. We'll give honest feedback, right? We'll be true to ourselves, but we'll create a safe space. And I will also say that there's never been a time that a lady has come up to the show, and you can look back at all of our shows, all of our live shows. Never been a time where a lady has not come to the show and we have not shown her the most compassion. And I mean, even back to January, I can recall a moment where a lady was sharing with us that she had been taken advantage of. She had been molested, and she had, had a bunch of things happen to her. And the way that we stepped up to protect her is we gave her resources, and we stopped her from sharing her story so that, people wouldn't take too much advantage. So we go the extra mile to try to protect you all in our conversation. So with that being said, make sure you are liking the broadcast. I'm not sure how many people are watching the show, but text your friend, share it with your friends, and bring them to our conversation. Um, I want to pop it over to our amazing producer, one of the three that's on the show, and pop it over for our hot topics. What to do?
All right, fellas. It's been said that even a man who is not ready will get ready if you are what he wants. Women are being told that if they run into a man who may not necessarily be ready, he will get ready if that woman is who he actually wants. And we need to hear, how do you guys feel about that? Do you feel that you will potentially get ready, even if you're not ready now, when you run into the right woman? Is it the woman that's going to change your mind? Or is it something within yourself? And that's the debate about this particular topic. Even if a man is not ready, he'll get ready if you are what he wants, or will he get ready in his own due time, regardless of the woman? And I'm curious to hear how you guys feel. Do you feel that it's a certain type of woman that's going to make you be ready to become a husband or a lifelong partner? Or is it something within you that's going to make you become a husband and a lifelong partner, and whoever you with at the time just happened to get lucky?
So before AC goes, AC, I'm not sure if you saw the very beginning of the broadcast, because I think you wanted to speak to that. AC, I want to tell you, just like I told the other generals that are here, I appreciate you, good sir. Your solid advice, your wisdom that you share on a regular basis on your Instagram. The fact that you love your wife and you publicly display that you love your wife. There are men that are ashamed of the woman that they have. And it goes without saying, she is absolutely gorgeous. And I don't mean that like, yo, you know what I mean? I'm looking at her in that way. I look at her like this is my brother's wife. And he loves her, he protects her, and he uplifts her, right? And I can see that. And I could see that she is willing to give back to you, and that you all share a love that goes beyond anything that I could imagine. And I was once married, and I'll tell you, soon, I can't say how soon, but I appreciate you for being that public figure who not only has a public presence, but is not afraid to say, hey, this is my queen, stand down. So, with that being said, please do your introduction, sir, and the mic is in your hand to go for the question.
And I appreciate it, bro. Trail AC, founder of the Crew Season podcast. That's Crew with a K. We discuss life, culture, relationships, everything under the sun every Tuesday on our streaming platforms. I'll make sure y'all check that out. Shit, man, happy to be back, man. Been a lot going on recently, man. But I could just tell by the intro question what type of night this gonna be. So I'm looking forward to it. And my answer to the question, if I may, I feel like men, we got to be ready internally. I don't really think it's something that we can see outside that's gonna just make us snap and get there. I think it's something that we gonna see outside that's gonna make us dive into the relationship maybe prematurely and pray to God that she have patience with us until we get there. But I don't think it's something that's gonna just make us, okay, you know what, I'm ready to stop all this stuff. I'm ready to be a family man, ready to just dive right in. If that man is not what he needs to be from a career perspective, from a mental perspective, from just a experience perspective in general, then I feel like, nothing that woman is going to be able to do. You can I can tell women all the time, you can't great girlfriend somebody into commitment. It's just not what it is. You just got to pray that man is being honest about where he is in life. But again, just like the cycle goes a lot of times, is that most men are typically not 100% ready, but we may be like 80, 75. It's like, okay, I done had a lot of these women out here. I know what's going on. My money is decent. I'm living comfortable. So I'm open to the idea, but I'm maybe not 100% ready to just dive in. But again, a situation where, we pray that she have patience with us while we bump our head throughout the relationship. And that may not I ain't even talking about cheating necessarily. I'm just talking about what it takes to be a man or the right man to a woman, the patience, the understanding, the emotional intelligence, all of that stuff. A lot of us don't come into relationships with. So that's what I mean by being patient. But yeah, I think that's how the cycle typically goes.
Robert?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Wes. No, go ahead, Wes. I want to know. Are you going to get ready because of the woman, or are you going to get ready because of yourself?
It's going to be an internal place that I have to be at, and I think in a lot of ways I'm there. But to Trill's point, I agree, and I think the danger as men in waiting until, or either waiting to get prepared once we meet that woman, or just diving in. The danger is that, as great as that woman might be and as inspirational as she might be, the moment that she, in our eyes, is no longer that same woman, even if it's temporarily, even if there's, some kink in the relationship, there's the danger that we will then revert back to our old selves because we didn't get there organically, and it was somewhat manufactured. So, yeah, even with the most inspirational woman, I think as a man, I have to be there already in order to actually authentically, love in that capacity that's necessary.
I would say, just like what Trill and West was saying, but I think there's two parts to it. The logistics part, I think, can be inspired by the right person. The right person can come along, and a man that has a job, he's working, but he isn't quite at the status he needs to be at a more than comfortable position to hold a relationship, the right woman can come along and motivate him, and he'll step his game up. Like, I'll say for myself, I know for myself, I'm productive anyway. I'm going to do myself anyway. I'm going to do what I got to do anyway to get the type of lifestyle that I want. But whenever I know that I have love with me and I have somebody who has love and has my back, my energy, my efficiency goes up, and I'm way more productive when it comes to the logistics of a relationship, like finances and such. Where I don't believe a man can get ready is if he's not emotionally intelligent, if he doesn't have his emotional wits about him, there's no way he's going to be able to change that overnight. He might want to with all of his might. He might want to say, you know what, I'm not going to play around. I can communicate with you. We can go back and forth and have a good conversation that doesn't have to be a fallout argument. But that's just a thought. If you're not actually in that spot, that's not something that you can just start. You can't just turn that on because the right woman came along. You might want to. You might have a little bit more patience, but just to cold turn that switch on for somebody, you got to already be that. You got to already have done that work in order to be that person.
Me personally, I say that I believe it comes with age and maturity. And I'm speaking for myself. So I know when I was like 20, 19, somewhere around there, you know, I wasn't worried about getting ready. You know, I'll talk to whoever I want to talk to, do what I want, do whatever I wanted to do. And that was the first thing from my mind, you know, being in a committed relationship, being with anybody. And I wanted to have my fun and do what I wanted to do. But I do believe also as you start to get older, you start to see a lot of different things. Your mindset changes, or a lot of men mindset changes. And so, you know, you start thinking about things differently. You start looking at life differently. I can honestly say early on, you know, I'm not old, but I mean, early on, were there some women that probably got away that, you know, I could have settled down with and been with? Yeah, I know it was. But I wasn't there in my life. And so I do think it's all about looking yourself in the mirror, because when you take that next step to be committed to somebody in that type of way, you got to think about more than just yourself then. And so if you're still selfish, you know, if you're still set in your ways, you know, not willing to change, not willing to compromise, then you don't need to go down that path, or you don't need to go down that route. And just because you may be 30, 35, 40, that doesn't mean that you're still ready to make that step. So I'm kind of agreeing with what the other fella said. You know, you have to be internally ready. You know, on the outside, a woman can show you all that she has to offer you, but at the end of the day, you know, eventually, as time progresses, those looks may start to change. So what are you gonna have to kind of hold yourself there to keep you in that relationship when, you know, things get tough or when things start to change? So I really think that you have to internalize and be ready to make that step before you put yourself out there. So I think it all starts with you as a person before anything else.
I'll speak to it too for a second. Shan, can you ask the question? Am I hearing again? So I wanted to make sure I hear something in particular.
Well, Clifford, you know, a lot of, you know, women, this is a some call it a fable, but women tell women, older women tell younger women, baby, when he's ready, he'll be there if he really wants you. But if he don't really want you, he ain't gonna be ready for you. And so basically, even when a man who's not ready for marriage or for settling down, or to stop running the streets or going out there and partying and doing all that kind of stuff, when he's ready, he'll get ready if you are what he wants.
Yeah. Some
are saying that, but then some men are pushing back saying, no, we get ready when we get ready. It's internal. It has nothing to do with the woman. And whatever woman I happen to be with at the time is going to be the lucky woman, because she happens to be the one that I'm with at the time that I'm internally ready. And so right now we got it's kind of even, you know, half and half. Some brothers are saying, well, you know, it's all about me, man. It's internal. It's about when I'm ready. And then that is when I'm ready to settle down, jump into a monogamous long-term relationship. And other brothers are saying, well, you know what, that woman might motivate me to actually become that, even though that's not even what I was thinking about when I met her. But because of who she is, I may become like that. And we're just curious as to what your thoughts are on that. Is it an internal thing to become ready and a black man settle down, or is it could a woman inspire a man to settle down?
Yeah, great question. Thanks for hashing it out. I'm going to start my answer off with actually setting up two analogies. The first one is I want you to imagine somebody picking you up for maybe a trip out of town, and they're telling you they're going to be there at maybe they tell you they'll be there at 10 o'clock. Or you have a presentation at school, and you got to present at school or at work. You got to present. The 10 o'clock hour comes, and your ride comes outside. If they're gonna leave, you're gonna run outside, whether you are prepared or not. And I think we need to just draw the distinction between the word ready and prepared. If you run outside at 10 a.m., at 10 o'clock, then you're ready when the ride leaves and pulls off. But that does not mean you have your shirt on. That does not mean you put your deodorant on. That does not mean you cut your hair. That does not mean that you didn't forget your wallet. That does not mean that you are prepared. The same thing is the idea for the presentation at school or at work. The presentation is at 11 a.m. and you didn't actually study. You didn't actually organize your PowerPoint, or maybe somebody else organized it for you and you gave it a once over, but you didn't master it. Well, come rain, hail, sleet, or snow, you got to present at 11 a.m. and you're going to be up and ready to present. You'll be up there. You'll be ready if you're on time. But being ready is not the same as being prepared. And I think when people, if a woman of opportunity comes and knocks on our door and it's the right woman, I think we all would be ready no matter what, because we would see the opportunity. We would strike while the iron's hot. We would recognize the value and we would be like, oh, I'm not letting this go. But please don't confuse that with being prepared. So I think what happens is when we're ready, we move and we're on time for the ride. We're on time for the assignment. We're on time for the presentation. We're on time for the woman. We'll grab her. But preparedness means, what kind of work have I done preliminarily, preemptively? What have I done on the back end before you even showed up, so that I could not just be ready for you when you come, but I'm prepared. I'm not running out the house with my shirt halfway on. I'm not forgetting my wallet. I've got my wallet. I've got, the GPS route ready to rock. I've got snacks. I've got the presentation. I know the PowerPoint. I have it, command of it. And so I think any man with the mind would see an opportunity du jour of a woman and strike while the iron's hot. He would grab her. He would be ready. He would make himself ready. But that does not mean he makes himself prepared. And I think if a man does not prepare when the right woman comes, then he's going to grab her. But the trade-off, ladies, is that brother's going to be putting his shirt on in the car. In other words, his credit's not going to be together. He's going to be building his credit up.
I just visualized that, Clifford. He getting ready. He in the back seat, getting dressed.
Yeah, he getting dressed. He putting his shoes on. He telling her, "Hey, you got tinted windows. I need to get in the back and slide these pants on." I mean, he's completely unprepared. Y'all leaving at 10 a.m. Y'all on time, but the brother is not dressed. He's not equipped. He's not prepared for this. He wasn't prepared. Pre means before. He didn't get prepared. He didn't get ready before you showed up. And I think that's the big distinction that we got to look at and make sure. I think that's the real question. I'm eager to hear y'all thoughts.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if anybody else was anticipating Clifford's first response. I was sitting here like in a hurry to get to him, but I appreciate that. But I was definitely going to come back to you and ask. So what happens when a woman runs into that? When they run into somebody who is ready, but they're not prepared? Like, what is that situation for them?
Well, for the one thing, that's a great question, Rob. And I think my answer to that is, I think the woman has to assess the value of that man for her. And it doesn't mean that if he's ready but not prepared, that she throws the baby out with the bathwater necessarily. She's got to do a cost benefit analysis on what his lack of preparation is going to cost her. So if he gets in the car and she says, "Did you bring your wallet?" and he says, "I don't got my wallet," does she have the money to cover the trip? In other words, does she have the bandwidth to compensate for his lack of preparedness in that area until y'all can get back home and he can go grab his wallet? Or until that brother can get himself together in that area? And that's a case by case basis. There's no cookie cut for this. There's no blueprint for this, because every woman and man has their own measure of grace, and every woman and man has their own measure of what they can accommodate and what they can take, their own patience. So it's really a cost benefit analysis. I think, I think the woman has to just ask herself that very serious and sober question: does this man have enough value? Not is he just worth it. I'm not talking about worth. I'm talking about value. Any human being is worth anything. But does he have enough value in my life to be inconvenienced by his lack of preparedness? And do I have the inventory? Do I have the account balance to make withdrawals, to share money with him, to get him rehabilitated, to get him trained up, to strengthen him so that he can be an asset to my life and not a liability? Because if a brother's not prepared to the degree that brother is not prepared in an area, is the degree that he will be a liability to some extent in that area. And so I think the sisters have to just ask the question: do I have enough in me to supply that particular deficiency, that deficit, that lack of inventory, so I can get him up? And if he's valuable enough to you, not if he's worth it, he's a child of God, of course he's worth it, but if he has enough value to your vision and your life and where you're going, then I think that's an opportunity for you to consider compensating, if he's worth that, if he has that value rather. If he doesn't, then there's nothing wrong with saying, "Hey brother, I know you're ready. I know you're running out the house at 10 a.m., but I need somebody that's prepared, more prepared in this area, because I need a companion."
Let me jump in right here at the tail end of that on the coattails and kind of grab the wind as it's going. A lot of times, as a man, you can be both, right? You can be both ready and prepared. And I just want to say that was an amazing analogy. But there are times where some are ready, and we need the right woman who is also prepared to remind us, right? Because this is where it comes in the type of woman that you are. The right kind of woman will call you ahead of time, because she knows, like me, I tell women all the time that in my dating process, I forget a lot, right? So I need someone who will remember things, because I have a million things going and I just need. So the right woman will say, "Hey, make sure you get your wallet, right? Make sure you have this ahead of time." Now, if she is en route to him and he's getting ready for her, then the right woman will also do the right things to make sure that not only is he a match for her, but she's a match for him. Because there are many times where women want to be married, but they want the man to bring everything and be everything. And all they have to do is just sit and be pretty and do nothing. But here's the thing: you also have to bring value to him. You also have to add to him and make him better, because the goal is for you to make him better and him to make you better. And that's where it leads to a great relationship. It has to be reciprocal, where we're both adding to each other. Now, to the question at hand, a man who's not ready, will get ready if you want to. I agree that there are times when a man is not ready, using the words, that are in the meme, when a man is not ready, when he meets the right one, he'll make the decision to get ready because he doesn't want to lose that which is valuable. Even AC said, he was in his relationship with his now wife. I don't remember how many weeks ago. He said something like, man, I was out here doing, playing around and I realized I was going to lose her. And he made a choice. I'm not going to lose her. So what did he do? He decided to get ready, right? Because he saw the value that she had and he knew how her worth. So in that instance, he may have been ready and prepared, but he needed a little push, right? And then there are other times where the man is already prepared, right? He's already practicing the habits that he's learned. He's already gotten himself prepared and gotten himself ready to be a husband, and he's just waiting for the right person to meet and collide in the right way. And once they meet, they'll be able to just carry the journey together. Shahid, I think you wanted to jump in. Go ahead.
Yeah, to kind of piggyback off of Clifford and then to answer Robert's question, that was a great analogy that Clifford used because I think we've all been in that position before where we might be running late and we just, hustling and bustling, getting dressed in the car, putting our, even if we complete that process, we still just we don't feel right. Mm-hmm. We feel insecure. We still checking like, is my tie right? Did I, you know what I mean? Am I smelling right? It comes with a certain level of insecurity to where you can't even sit in your confidence because you didn't take that time that you needed to properly prepare and get ready. You know what I mean? Like you didn't get to check yourself in the mirror. You didn't get to ask her, how do I look? Get a second opinion and so forth and so on. So you're going to be sitting within insecurities and you're not going to be sitting in confidence. Me personally, I don't believe there's a such thing as ready. You know what I mean? Because there's always going to be something that can be improved upon, that can be done differently. So if you wait, like even for me, I've faced that, since I've matured into a man, trying to understand what is ready. What is that? How do you dictate what ready is? Because, if I'm financially ready, or if I'm, you know what I mean, if I'm emotionally mature enough and disciplined enough, there's always going to be something that I say, yeah, I'm financially ready, but I want to do this, or I need to do that. So me personally, I don't believe in such thing as ready, but I do believe in, using, I don't want to say using, but our partner can be the key to unlock something in you that gets you ready. And I love that Clifford, didn't use ready, he used prepared. But I definitely believe our partners, that woman you choose or that man you choose, could be the key to unlock whatever it is that you feel you're not completed. Now I'll pass the mic to somebody else.
I tell you what, another thing that's not being spoken on is like how much men fear failing in our relationships. I think a lot of women don't really factor that in. Like when we talking about getting ready, like the first thing comes to their mind is, oh, all these women. He's trying to prepare to cut all these women off and just no. He's got to prepare himself for failure, because a relationship is a losing game, for percentage wise. If we just gonna be honest, like how many, like everybody on this stage has dated a multitude of women. How many of them actually lasted? So if you start looking at things percentage wise, this is a losing game. And if I invest myself and be completely vulnerable with you, it's a good chance, great chance that this may fail. And I think as men, we got to prepare ourselves for that too. And that's part of the hesitation, especially when we're talking about marriage and different things like that. That's why you look at the divorce rates. Women are the ones filing at an 80% clip because men don't want to fail in our relationships. So that's something that has to be factored in, man. It's not just women. It's not just getting rid of these hoes. It's preparing yourself for the end game. Men are long-term thinkers. So we think about that as well when we go into these situations.
For me, I'll just really quickly, I definitely agree with do the internal work. Big on that, because I think once you do the internal work, you open yourself up to receive the woman or the partner that God has whittled specifically for you. Because God knows that person has done their internal work on themselves and they're ready, but he's not going to put you on a crash course to meet each other until you're both ready, because, excuse my language, but, God will be danged if he, gives this person who's done the internal work and then have them receive somebody who's not yet to that point. So with me personally, doing that internal work and it opening up space for my soul, for me to meet and receive my soulmate, for me, it was a no-brainer, because my whole philosophy was, if the dating market is trashed, I'm completely fine with being single and just focus on my grind. Like, I've been out the market for 7 years on my terms. But once, like I said, I did the internal work and then I met my soulmate. It's just like, okay, this is everything I've been asking for a woman and then some. So it was just a no-brainer for me to just take that next step and make that next move. So as y'all already know the story, we've been dating for 7 months, and I finally went to go see her overseas. And it wasn't even just a trip to meet her. Like, that was a trip to meet her parents too. Like, I rented a car. We drove 2.5 hours on the countryside, and I went and met her parents as well. Had to sit down and talk with her dad and her mom and let them know, what my intent is, and I'm serious. So, and then let my dad know last week. So it's like everybody is aware of, my girlfriend and what my intentions are. And it's not even a long drawn out thing. It's just like, baby, next time you see me, I'm coming with some hardware. So my thing is now I'm doing everything I need to do right now. I'm doing everything I need to do right now to get me in a place of freedom where I can pull back and have that freedom to travel and do whatever it is I need to do. So this ain't gonna be like 2-3 months later. Like, this is weeks, a month. But it's just like, when you know. So it's just like, me as a man, meeting my soulmate, it's like, it's a no-brainer. I'm making all the moves to make it happen. So
nice,
man. Wow. Wes, did you get a chance to pop in? You're on mute, Wes.
Wait, yeah, Wes tapped in first. Wes was number 1.
Oh, okay. I'm still in my mushy feeling, so y'all gotta forgive me.
That's gonna end real soon. Have no fear.
Man, I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay in this phase, man. It's a good place for me. It keeps me light and lovely.
All right.
And go ahead, Shan.
No, I'm going on to the next topic. We do the hot topic. I'm glad we got together. We're gonna knock out these hot topics. So here's the next one. All right, fellas, check this out. They say sex is not the main course. That's what the meme says. Sex is not the main course. Intimacy is. Anyone can have sex, but you can connect. Can you connect with her soul? Can you touch and energy heal? Can you two lay naked in your truth without judgment? Can the tears flow from joy because it's the first time someone has seen and accepted you for who you are and not what you can provide? So, fellas, what do you consider the actual definition of intimacy? Is it important for a woman to see you for more than what you can provide? Because like as they say, right, the 4 P's for men's purpose on the planet, at least what I say, is provide, protect, problem solve, and procreate, right? Is it required for you to have a woman see more than just you providing and protecting? Is that a necessity? Is that a requirement for you? And then does that make your sex, is that more intimate for you? Or maybe it's not even a requirement. I'm not sure. And then what do you consider intimacy? Does intimacy require sex, or can intimacy be void of sex? It's like a multi-part question, but it's all on the screen. Is it required? But the main question is, fellas, do you require a woman to see you for more than what you can provide and what you can protect for her? Do you want her to see more in your internal side, or is it okay? Are you okay with transactional relationships and intimacy? Does it require sex for you? Can you have intimate interactions without the actual intercourse, or is the intercourse actually a required component?
So I'll jump in. Colin, you want to come after me?
Sure.
Okay. So for me, I need intimacy. I won't go all into the intricacies of what intimacy is for me, but I will say, no, I will. Intimacy for me is allowing me to be my most vulnerable self and loving my inner child. I'll plug my book real quick because I talk about it in my book. My book is called The Edge of Greatness, and my therapist shared with me that there are four parts of the human of a human, right? And I'm sure any therapist will tell you the outer self, the inner self, the outer critic, and the inner child. Those four parts are called the personality pie. And the outer self is the side of you that everybody knows, right? The inner critic is the side that you know and the side that you critique yourself about, right? The inner child is the one I want to talk about, and what I want to focus on, because if you make my inner child feel safe, then you have me, hands down. I actually share with women that I date that my goal in dating you is to let the little girl in you be safe. Because when I make that little girl be safe, you can produce the king in me. Even though the king is already there, but you'll touch the king in me. That's true intimacy for me. Because a lot of women that I've come across, and not going to say all women, but a lot of women that I've come across don't know how to make a man feel safe. I'll give you an example. I was on a date, and a young lady I was speaking to, I was just talking, sharing my inner thoughts. And in the couple of weeks that we spoke, every time I shared my opinion, she cut me off. And so it got to a point where I just sat back and I started talking. I shared something that was really intimate. And when I started to open up, she cut me off and I just shut it down. And I said, I want to explain something to you. I am sharing something that's allowing me to be very vulnerable. And you have on multiple occasions not listened. And you're not making me feel safe. And do you know, when I told her that she did not make me feel safe, she got up and she left. Or I won't say, well, she ended the conversation and left. And here's the thing, that let me know she was not the person for me. She didn't want to be intimate, even if we were having sex, right? She didn't want to be intimate enough to make me safe, because I'm sharing with you the inner parts of me. And if that's not safe, I don't want you. I'll end there and I'll come back at the tail end and I'll add something to it. Go ahead, Colin.
I think it's important. I'll be short. I think it's important for the woman to see the God in you, because that's what she's submitting to. She's submitting to the God in the man. That's what she's following behind. That can be subjective too, because not everyone has their own religious beliefs and beliefs and things like that. But ultimately, for me, she's submitting to the God in me. So she's following. Because I'm following under the leadership, under the guidance, under the wisdom of God. So she's getting behind that, and she's trusting that I'm going to lead. So she's submitting to the God that she sees in me. Shane, give me the second half of the question again.
Well, it was 2-part question. So it was, do you believe that intimacy is part of sex?
Okay.
I'm sorry, is sex part of intimacy, or can intimacy be void of actual intercourse and void of sex? And is it required that a woman looks at you more than just providing and protecting? Can it just be transactional, or do you require her to look to the inner self and the deeper side of Colin? Or is it okay?
Right.
You understand that, it's just, it's more business than lovey-dovey and all that stuff.
I'm a deep person, so I think definitely she should look at more than just what you can provide. And obviously for me in my situation, it wasn't physical. So that's what's unique about our situation was it was spiritual, it was mental before it ever became physical, because I just went to go see her a week and a half ago. We've been talking for 7 months. So obviously it wasn't physical. So she got to know me on a spiritual, on a mental level. And I think that's what increased just our bond, our soulmateship, if you want to call it that. And it made it extra special because I literally was asking myself, like, how much stronger could this possibly get? Because we're in a long distance relationship, like how much stronger could this get? But every single month, it was just proven again and again and again how much stronger it could possibly be. So I was like, well, the only thing left for us to do is to meet in person. So it wasn't based on sex. It wasn't based on the physical. It was based on spiritual and mental. And it wasn't, with her, it was nothing about what I, had or could provide and things like that. That's part of it. But she loved the fact that I got her back into the Bible, that I got her back into doing Bible study, things like that, because she submitted to the God in me. That's something she got away from, and she loved the fact that I brought her back to that. So it was on a spiritual level, not just the physical, what I could provide, but just spiritually, that I could guide her, that I could give her that leadership and provide that guidance for her, because she saw the God in me. So I'll rest my mic.
Yeah, I think for me, sex definitely does involve intimacy and whatnot, but I don't require, I can be intimate without sex. You know what I mean? I'm an intellectual. So I tell women all the time, like, I can have sex with your mind before without having sex with your body. And I need that reciprocation as well, because for me, like, not to sound arrogant or anything, but sex is a phone call. When I want it, I can get it. So, but I can't always get mental stimulation. That's rare. That's hard to come by. It's easier to have a woman physically than her to, stimulate me mentally. So, so in that, most definitely, there can be intimacy without sex. And I'm not. One thing I think where we all make the mistake is we try to dictate why a person loves us. Like in my previous relationship, my woman, she asked me, well, why do you love me? And I told her, you bring me peace. It's a sense of calm when I'm around you. That wasn't sufficient for her. She wanted me to love her for the reason she wanted me to love her. And for me, it was just like, I don't care why you love me. As long as I can feel that genuine love and I'm secure in that. If you think I'm the funniest man alive and I don't, I'm good. As long as I can feel the love and I know it's sincere and genuine, I'm not gonna want you to love me because I'm a protector or I'm a leader or whatever. Whatever reason you choose to love me is your reason. And if I feel, it's being reciprocated and it's genuine, I'm okay with that. But oftentimes we want people to love us for who we believe we are or what we believe we provide. I think that covers it. What else was it, Shane? Is that it?
Do you require a woman to look to you for more than just protection and providing? Protection and providing is the thing, but and that's one of our main roles as a good husband. That's a husband. It's not a man thing, it's a husband thing, right? It's not a marriage thing, it's a husband thing. You can be married, but doesn't mean that you're a good husband. And providing and protecting is one of the key essentials. But do you require more than that? Would you require, I know you're not married, but when you do get married, if you ever do decide to do that, will you require her to see deeper into you more than providing and protecting? Or are you cool with just that?
I'm not going to require anything because I want it to naturally come organically. But I believe just the type of individual I am, it's going to come. You know what I mean? Like I just can't see a world where my woman that I choose is not seeing it. And I'll yield there.
Go ahead, Robert. I know you got a lot to say.
Yeah,
I agree with what you said on that last one.
I might be a minute.
I'm not sure what side he's gonna end up on. I don't know what side he's gonna be on. I'm so afraid. Cliff, I haven't known Robert in a while. Cliff, he's been strange fruit to me lately. Go ahead, Robert, please. Don't disappoint, brother. Go ahead.
Okay, so to the part to where if I require someone to see me for more than what I can do for them, with the PPPs, yeah, definitely. I don't want somebody just to see me as somebody that can just solely provide. I definitely need you to see my heart. I need you to see my spirit. I need you to see who I am altogether. To get to the fun part, the intimacy. Sex is a form of intimacy, but there's so much more intimacy that's out there. And I think that's a problem and something that maybe needs to be discussed more amongst the people that we raise, because you can have intellectual intimacy. You can have intimacy where your conversation can be so good and so well. You've had those conversations before where you're on the phone for hours, but it seems like 20 minutes. You've seemed like you've known this person forever. That is intimacy. That type of bond is an intimate bond. Colin, from his description, has experienced that type of intimacy where it starts on an intellectual base, and then it builds from there. You can have like poetry and creative things, poetry, music, dance. Those are all other forms that if you can be into singing, choir, like if you've ever been involved with a good choir, you can feel the energy from the singing. That's another form of intimacy. And if you can have that with one person where you guys are just going back and forth, singing a song, writing words, writing poetry, dance or whatever, like me and Wes is doing right now, that is also another form of intimacy that actually built into your relationship. You can have spiritual intimacy. I'm gonna try to give this example as good as it was for me. Dealing with somebody who is, to me, is a very, very special person. We sent each other, I sent her a song, and it was a gospel song. She sent me a song, and it was a gospel song. And after a while, it got to a point to where we were rejoicing in our spirituality together. And it got to the point to where everything that you would feel during an actual sexual orgasm, you were feeling it behind the spiritual aspect. And that is a beautiful thing, to be able to be in tune with someone's spirit. And at that time, we were at least 1,500 miles apart, but we were having this spiritual experience together. And that intimacy it builds a hell of a bond to be able to connect with somebody on that spiritual level. Also, you can create intimacy with the things you do, the places you go, like some people just like a nice dinner. Some people like to travel, like Cliff is out in Cancun, wherever we go, it's also another form of intimacy because you create those memories. And then we finally get down to like the physical intimacy, which doesn't have to involve sex. You can be physically intimate with someone, and it's strictly like a massage. It's strictly like a touch. It's not full-on engaging in sex. As a matter of fact, you can have intimacy physically without even having the thought of sex. And that's a beautiful thing, and that's a comforting thing, because now you have somebody, especially on the woman's end, now they know that they have someone that they can trust with their body, because they're not going to be trying to do things disrespectful, or they're not so selfish within themselves that they're going to try to get theirs off real quick. You know what I mean? They're going to take care of them. They're going to take care of you and take care of your body the way you need it to be. And then, of course, we got the sex. That's a great part of intimacy. And we all know what that is like. So I'm gonna try not to hold the mic on that. I try to kill it because I know Cliff is gonna come with it if he speaks. But yeah, let's just not let Cliff speak. I want mine to be the last one.
Robert, you're funny, man. I was actually gonna speak, but at your request, I'm gonna hold my peace.
No, brother. I'm playing, bro. I'm always gonna learn from you, man. I yield to you, bro.
No, man. Thank you, man. No, what you said was very fruitful and nourishing, to be honest with you, man. And I'll simply say this: a couple things. Number one, we got to lay the foundation of intimacy, and you guys have done a great job at doing that. So I'm not going to come on here and be an aficionado or try to be a savant. That's not what's happening. But there's something I do want to contribute to it, and that is, the Bible says in Genesis chapter 2 that when God made Adam and Eve, He made the man and the woman, and it says, and the man and the woman were both in the garden of Eden, and they were two things very important. They were both naked and unashamed. Naked and unashamed. Not only were they naked, they didn't have clothes on, but they were also unashamed about what they were showing and what they saw in the other person. Naked and unashamed. Not naked, here I am, naked, vulnerable with you. And the word vulnerable means I'm feeling susceptible. I've taken a risk to be hurt. That's what vulnerable is. They were both naked. They took the risk to be hurt by one another because I don't have any clothes on. There's nothing protecting me from you. You can criticize here I am, warts, wrinkles, scars, stretch marks, bags, and all. Here it all is. You can criticize it. I'm taking the risk for you to criticize it, for you to take shots at it. I'm taking that risk. But not only am I taking the risk, I'm unashamed about me taking that risk. I'm unashamed about what you see. They were both naked and unashamed. And that was man and woman in their purest form. That was pure intimacy. And so I think that is the standard of intimacy, is when you can get naked emotionally, when you can get naked telling people the most shameful things that have happened to you, the most embarrassing things that you've done, the fact that you used to steal, or you used to hurt people, or maybe you've raped somebody, maybe you've been raped by somebody, maybe you killed somebody, maybe you did something absolutely humiliating and embarrassing, and you fear that somebody's going to judge you for it when they find out. That's getting naked, when you actually take the risk, when you be vulnerable and share that. And that is, and then unashamed about it. Why were they unashamed? They were unashamed because they had relationship with God. They were unashamed because they were ratified by God's presence and what He said about them and how pure they were in Him. So what am I saying? For those of us who cannot be naked and unashamed, it's an indication on your relationship with God. If you have things, all of us, show of hands, fellas, if you've done something that's embarrassing that you really don't want everybody to know about, okay? Unanimous. All right, thanks for being real. Thanks for keeping it 100. I have both hands up. I got 2 feet up too, by the way. Okay, all right, I got a few of those. Nakedness and unashamed. I can tell, I don't tell everybody all of my business, but I can tell anybody any of my business. And the reason why is because I have a close relationship with God. I'm intimate with God. I'm close with Him. So I don't have shame about it anymore because I've been forgiven for it. When you can present that kind of person into a relationship with another person, that's real intimacy right there, because I'm taking the risk for you to hear the embarrassing things about me and judge me and stone me. I take that risk. But what's my insurance policy? What's my security blanket is I've already been forgiven. So there's nothing you can't charge me twice for the same crime that's already been judged. That's double jeopardy. I'm good. God's forgiven it. So I can talk to you about it. I can show you my scars. So you may think this is tangential. This is not tangential at all. Why? Because this is so much more important than sex. Sex will keep a man hanging around, but sex won't keep a man. Sex will keep him around, but it won't win his heart over. So what wins a man's heart is intimacy. When you can show him you and he can show you him, And now you become the safest place in the world because I can open up. I can talk to you about my embarrassing moments. I can talk to you about the things that humiliate me, and you receive me and you connect with me and you embrace me. Every man deep down inside, whether he can articulate it or not, wants that, needs that, and is looking for that kind of resting place. And when he finds it, he'll lean into it. I have talked to many women that were ready to present sex or presented sex, but they weren't ready to be vulnerable, transparent, and intimate. And it's a part of why I'm single today. Because you can present that. You can present sex in your body as a commodity, and your body will get a man's attention. Beauty is powerful. Beauty will stop the most holy men, the holiest of men, and the wildest men right and dead in their tracks. Beauty will do that. Beauty is powerful. But scripture says charm is deceitful and beauty is vain. In other words, it's empty. It'll get you in the office. It'll get you the job, but it won't keep you in office. It'll get you in front of the man, but it won't retain him. You'll have a revolving door. You'll have rollover. You'll have turnover. So I think, to answer your question, Shan, sex can happen. Sex can happen and there not be intimacy, because sex and intimacy are not the same. There are people who will have sex with you and will not kiss you.
Facts.
There are people who will have sex with you and will not make eye contact with you. Some of those people are on this call right now. They'll have put you in missionary, bend you over, turn you, flip you, but will not look you in your eye during the intimate experience. Do all of that and will not cuddle with you. Will not talk to you. Will not. You know what intimacy is? When you can, after sex, you can sit there and lean in and smell her breath after her mouth been all over you, and you don't flinch, and you don't gotta hold your breath. You can suck it in and lean into her. That's intimacy. The intimacy is when you can have a conversation, when you can talk, when you can open up beyond the sexual experience. Sex is a crescendo, but true intimacy precedes sexuality. So now sex is the culmination of intimacy. It's the crescendo. It's the full budding of it. But but dysfunctional people can have sex and refuse to be intimate. And that is a red flag. That's a red flag. So I think yes, it's possible. Guys are able to do that. We are able to have sex. We call it dissociating. Women can do it too. Women can dissociate, disconnect, have sex with you, and keep their emotions. Some women will prevent you from doing certain positions with them. You can hit it from the back, but you can't get on top and do missionary. That's too much. That's too deep. That's too intimate. I'm too vulnerable. Nope, my legs open, behind my head. Oh, absolutely not. That ain't going down. But you can turn me over to the side because I don't have to look at you that way. I don't have to face you if we do that. So I can feel good, but protect my emotions. It's the classic, most quintessential oxymoron that you ever want to have. So I'll land the plane by just saying, I think they're distinctly different, but one is intimacy healthily in a healthy relationship. Intimacy precedes sexuality, and we'll stop there.
And I'll jump in real quick because he said two things, and I believe Chris kind of touched along that line, and a lot of people might not agree with what I'm about to say with the first one anyway. I often tell people, because I have friends and they'll talk and they'll say, I told my wife these are my issues, this is what's wrong, and the first thing my wife said to me is I need to go see a therapist, or they discounted that feeling. And I tell people, you are your spouse's first therapist. You are the first line of therapy. They may need work beyond you, but if you turn away that's where I kind of feel like that's what Cliff and Chris was saying, is we come to you, we open ourselves up to you, and if it's received, it can be a form of intimacy. We're able to be open and vulnerable and naked in front of each other. forms a whole nother intimacy that's a strong bond because it's a trusting intimacy. It's probably the more ultimate of all intimacies. It's so vulnerable. The other thing Cliff said, and I'm gonna put myself out there at the risk of like messing up any future relationships I might have. You can, or I have, as a man, been able to create a false intimacy during sex. I have been able to look a woman square in her eye, line up all the chocolate, all that wonderful stuff, and it feels like an intimate experience for the woman. But for me, my mind is like, yeah, made you feel something. So watch out for that.
Savage,
too.
Just savage.
Watch out for that too.
So let me add this as a golden nugget, right? It's amazing for us to talk about what is important, right? Intimacy or sex, or which comes first, or can we have both, or what have you. But here's something that we need to add. Because one of the things that we do best is that we teach, right? We share how do you go from not being intimate to being intimate. And I'll lead the conversation off this, and I want everybody to chime in on how is it that you have learned for a woman to be intimate? Like, what does it look like? Because it doesn't matter if we talk about it and nobody knows what to do when we leave. Because they may think they know what matters to them, but it's ask a black man. And so we need to be able to share from our place of vulnerability. And I'm gonna start off with Shan, right? Tell people, yeah, Shan, I'm gonna throw you in the fire. Tell people, what is it like to be intimate with you? And this is what let me throw my little blurb in, and then I'll pop to Shan. For me, intimacy is conversation. In order to be intimate with me, you need to be able to talk about anything and everything. I need conversation that is long lasting, that is open, it's honest, and it's not triggering. It's allowing trust to be established, but also to be organic and not forced. A lot of times what happens in the dating arena is that some women have a list of questions that they need to get off, right? Because they just want to see if you're good enough. And as Clifford already said earlier, every human is intrinsically good enough. We all qualify. But if you want to objectify a man for a relationship, that's not what we need. We need you to understand, to just connect to us. And here's something that most women may not know, or some women that I've come across may not know. Most men are actually just as emotional as women are. And if you can bond with us through intimate conversation, I guarantee you, to the first question, will he be ready? I guarantee you that bonding through conversation, having conversations about feeling, and I'm not just how do you feel? Not that question, but ask a man, what inspires you to do what you do? What 3 obstacles are you looking to tackle this month? Be interested in him and bond with him. I guarantee you, you'll be a head and shoulders above the other women that might be in his sphere. And that's how you become truly intimate with me, through conversation. So I'll pop to Shan because I want to get your feedback. You've been the silent assassin tonight.
Well, I told you guys I was going to be. See, I spoke so much last week. I wanted to get a space for the day.
I know, but I'm going to throw you in the fire anyway.
Nah,
so.
I don't want to answer. And I see people are talking. I get, we got people that saying it.
I see it.
And I'm not uncomfortable.
You gotta show the other side of you, bro.
I'm not uncomfortable. And I can say a lot about everything that we've been asking. Come on. I just want to. I want to.
So give us a little snippet, Shan.
I'm gonna keep. Okay. Listen, I'll say one thing.
What does it take to be intimate, and not sex? What does it take to be intimate with Shan?
What does it take to be intimate with Shan?
not sexually, but to bond with Shan emotionally.
Wait. Don't answer for Shan. Don't lead him to the well. Hold on. Let Shan handle his own business. Grown man.
Why do y'all want to hear what I gotta say? Why?
Come on, Dark Vader.
Hey, you gotta show that you're not a monolith. You got multiple sides to your personality.
I do have multiple sides.
Wait.
Let me,
Longmire. Let this man answer the question on his own.
Allow me. See, Cliff.
Side of him.
Cliff, let me give you some backstory. Last week, I was coming hard, and I was talking a lot. I don't normally like to talk a lot, but I was talking a lot because of the actual topic, and I came off kind of insensitive to women, and I was saying what women's roles, and I was just doing all that, and I was getting pushed back from everybody. I was getting pushed back from brothers on the dark side. I was getting pushed back from the Federation. And so this week I said, Cliff, I'm going to just be quiet and let the brothers talk. I'm going to just moderate, you know what I'm saying, get everything going. And now they want me to talk.
So wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute. Why are you talking to the pastor though? Are you this ain't handle your business. Answer the question, man.
Look, we got a third hot topic and we got to get to it before we open up the stage. I got a third hot topic.
Be all right.
The stage is open, man. Right. So
they won't pull up. I even jumped on. I ran over to the chat. I jumped in. I asked 4 ladies to put the cam up because this is gonna be a good one. I want them to come on. I
agree, sir.
I get it, but I'm not going. No, listen. I don't want to talk. I don't want to get no. See, Shaheed got my back. So Shaheed about to jump in.
Yeah. See? So for me, intimacy. How you? Like I said, you got to be able to tap into my intellectual capacity. If you want to be intimate with me, you got to be able to tap into my spirituality also. Like I said, the physicality of things, I was a college athlete, so that's nothing that's easy for me. So you have to be able to do things outside of the physical. But also I don't believe intimacy is meant for everyone. We're not meant to be intimate with every single person we encounter. We believe it. We want to try it. But for me, if it don't come natural, I'm not going to teach you how to be intimate with me. If it doesn't come organically, that's my cue and that's my lesson to learn and understand that this person is not for me. When the intimacy hits naturally, then I know, okay, I need to move. Let me find out more about this person. Let me learn this person a little more and see where things can go moving forward. But I just don't believe in being intimate with every single person you come across. I'm not going to force it. I'm not even going to try. If it's not there, it's not there. And to Cliff's point, I've been that guy to where it's just like, we're not doing this. We're not doing that. After you do what you do, I'll see you later. I'll call you when I need another fix. But that was in my younger years and whatnot. So, and as I got older, and I learned more and I matured more, I understood that I was craving the intimacy more than I was the physical aspect in certain women. And when I wasn't, like I've had
a lot of people. No, we out here. We outside. Where they at?
Yeah, I've had.
Make that low. Mute yourself.
I've had some men's dream girls in my bed, and I'm wondering when she gonna call her Uber. So. For me, like I said, I've grown and matured and developed to a point where, I'm craving the intimacy more than, the things beyond that. I'll leave it there.
Yo, is that King with Jamal?
Yeah, we're in the building. We're in the building.
Wow.
We're in New York right now, and I'm so happy Jamal came to New York. And we're having a good time. And I got him to meet my sister, who's a doctor too. And they just chilling and chatting. And I appreciate y'all. Look at my 2 favorite doctors. Stop. Say hi. Say hi.
So Jamal, you can't answer my text?
No, I haven't been on my phone in a minute. Actually,
I think what was said is Jamal is preoccupied. I believe that's what King just said.
No. I sent a text to both Jamal and the King. So
we partying it up.
We gotta check the files. My bad. We gotta check the files.
On the show today.
Yeah, Jamal could pull. Hey, Robert, Jamal could pull up for King, but he can't pull up when we having.
Oh, this was set up in advance.
Turn your camera, King.
No.
Niggas is partying, man. They partying without us. These niggas is partying in New York without us. The fuck?
Hey, it's a movie, man. I tell y'all.
That niggas in Marley getting around, bro.
I'm in Florida, so I'm not available to go to New York.
I mean, but anyone with substance, I mean, we all gonna do that. So like all of them should be prepared for that. They need to know that this is how we move, and they need to know how to compete. So I'm still gonna drop some gems in there. They need to know how to compete. It's competition all over the place, 24/7. Be prepared. Stay ready. You don't have to get ready.
So, AC, how are you okay with answering this question?
Sure. Yeah, cool. Any question you want? Thank you.
Hold on, wait. Hey, Jamal, can you see me?
Yeah.
Hey, turn your phone this way so y'all will fill the entire screen. There you go.
Bet. What's the question though?
So the question on deck is, how does a woman bond with you intimately?
Bond with you? We have a woman here. Okay, you're not here? Okay.
So we can't say nudes and Cash App? We can't say that?
Jamal.
What?
You're live.
I know.
So what do you think?
Nudes and Cash App. What I said.
Them niggas is drunk.
Time out there. Go ahead.
Them niggas is drunk. I'm jealous of the motherfucker. Them niggas is drunk. They having a ball. They having a ball. They in New York. Shit, it's what 8, 9, 10, 11. It's 11 o'clock in Brooklyn. Come on, man. They ain't thinking about no goddamn intimacy questions and.
No, but if we're really talking about it though, like, because it's gonna be a trigger word again. We're gonna hit them with it again. They're gonna be mad, but like accountability, like listening, like actually being fun. You know what I mean? A lot of people think they're fun, but they're not really. So, can you actually have character, personality? Can you fit with someone's personality? And that you have to start with that to get to intimacy. You can't just go in there and just think you're gonna blow her back out. You can't just do that. Like, it don't work that way. Like, the physical part isn't even the biggest part of getting there. And I think a lot of people feel like, oh, I can just throw the box at them and that's gonna be intimate. No, that's not how it works. We have feelings too. There are non-sexual things that we feel about. No, they're there. Every man has it. It's just, can we express it? Ask any man that's married and that's, unhappy because he can't express his actual feelings and actually talk about them and have those feelings received.
That's
where you lock them in. That's where you keep them in. That's where you keep it at. Right? So stop thinking that you can just physical your way into it, that you can just toss the box at your way into it. No, it takes more than that. Because as men, we're reduced to just thinking that, oh, we're just meatheads and we just like sex, and we gotta kill that narrative. I don't like that narrative. We gotta stop that. So that's the short of it.
I'm drunk, but I wasn't driving.
So what?
That's why I'm getting so mad.
No, that's Uber. Uber drive.
These niggas ain't remember this conversation no more.
Yeah. Trill, what was you finna say, Trill? Y'all go ahead and mute King. Trill, what was you finna say, Trill? Let them catch up. Let them catch up a little bit.
Jamal clearly didn't see my text message either.
The boy occupied, man. He ain't looking at no phone.
At all.
What was I gonna say? Intimacy. Does it involve sex? Sure, but sex is. I ain't gonna say the last line of defense to intimacy. We ain't gonna just jump out that window. I know everybody want to talk pretty and get deep, but sex is a big ass part of intimacy. We not just gonna put that on the back burner like that. But I will say that it's not the first thing. I think intimacy is selflessness and trust. If I had to just kind of summarize it, and what I mean by selflessness is, say for instance, me and my wife is walking down the sidewalk just automatic instinct for me to pull her away from the street and put her on the inside of me when I'm walking. Or if we in a room full of women, it's automatic instinct for me to grab her hand. Or around a bunch of men, pull her close to me. Like it's just little things, just subtle things like that to just let you know, hey, I got you. You are trusting me with your safety. You are trusting me with your future. You are trusting me to raise your kid. And I just want to let you know that I'm capable of it. I feel like that's what intimacy is. It's selflessness and it's trust. And I say it all the time in regards to, me choosing my wife to begin with. The thing that always stood out to me, just about women in terms of, okay, this is something I should take serious, is how much is she invested in things about me that she doesn't directly benefit from. That was my deciding factor. And again, it leads into my selflessness narrative. There are a lot of women that'll be with a man because he has money or because he has status. I think the question says somewhat provide, provide, protect, like those are like the number, like rudimentary things that men are responsible for. But they benefit directly from that. So, of course you would value that, you know what I'm saying? But when you have a woman that values hobbies of yours that she don't like, be on social media or podcasting or whatever the case may be, like she's not directly benefiting from that, but she still.
But no, you can though, because
but you know that I like
black one, so I learned.
Oh, okay, no. But I got it. But yeah, no. So it's just again, it's just little things like how much is she invested in things about you that she doesn't directly benefit from. I feel like all of that is intimacy. Like when I look in her eyes and I can see the fact that she trusts me in terms of like where I'm leading us as a man and being a leader of the relationship. I feel like that's intimacy. And great sex is intimacy as well. In terms of the last part of the question, does a woman have to, I don't know, I guess expect more from me than providing or something like that? I think.
Well, provide and protect. You as a husband, that's one of the main charges that you have right now is providing and protecting. But do you require your wife to expect more from you then, or do you want your wife to look at you more than just a provider and a protector? Is that a requirement? Maybe in hindsight, you realize that that's all that's needed, or maybe in hindsight you realize you always wanted more, but when you first got married it wasn't. Give us some insight, maybe how you thought before you got married versus how you think now that you've been married.
Gotcha. Yeah, that is a hell of a question. How I thought before I got married, I was real selfish. Would be the aspect. I hear a lot of guys spoke about, you can have sex with a woman and not have zero attachment, different things like that. And that's why I was laughing, because I was like, yeah, that's very true. Like, we don't need feelings, we don't need intimacy, we don't need holding hands, any of that. Like, we can go in and do our thing and not even remember who you are a week from then, or not even know your last name. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. Like, or first name. You know what I'm saying? Or she may not even know your first name. She may know your nickname. But that's neither here nor there. But as far as mindset, before you get into a marriage, it's just selfishness. It's a 1 foot in, 1 foot out type of situation. It's like, you do something I don't like, I'm gone, or whatever the case may be. And you know what? I ain't got to deal with this. I got 100 women waiting on me. Or in a woman's situation, I got 100 dudes waiting on me. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's the mindset. But when you get married, it stops becoming you and it becomes we and us. And you get to thinking about legacy and different things like that. So that's what I guess kind of differentiates the mindset. And us being so young, I bumped my head 100 times. That's what I spoke to earlier in terms of like not having it figured out. And a lot of that is because we don't have examples. We don't have blueprints of what successful relationships look like. How many people that have been married happily for 30, 40 plus years? Not many, especially in this era that we're in right now. So that being the goal, you got to write a lot of that book yourself. And I think once I accepted the fact that, okay, hey, we don't have nowhere to turn to go look for how to do this. Or it's not no book to read, or it's not, you know what I'm saying? Because all of those situations are anecdotal. Sure, it worked for them, but it may not work for us. But once my mindset changed to, you know what, we need to start making our own blueprint. We need to start doing what feels good to us, what works for us, building our own legacy, setting our own traditions, different things like that. That's when the relationship hit the sweet spot as far as the marriage. You stop trying to emulate things and start creating. And I feel like that's what bonded us closer. And, again, when I look at her, I see purpose. because she has so much trust in me as far as guiding her where we going as a family, that makes me stay 3 to 4 steps ahead. I don't know if y'all play chess, but staying 3 or 4 moves ahead mindset wise, because I got people depending on me, like literally like putting a livelihood in my hands. So yeah, when she sees me, I need her to see me as being more than a provider and a protector. I need her to see me as an extension of herself. And I need her to see more in me than I see in myself. And she does. And that's why we've been together going on 13 years now. So, yeah.
And before the next person unmutes, I want to give an opportunity to everybody in the audience to click the link in the comments where you can join the conversation. If you like what you heard, you have a question about what you heard, or you want to just give some feedback, go ahead and click the link. You don't have to come on video, but we would love to hear your feedback because this is Ask a Black Man Anything, and we literally are nothing without you. So, with that being said, join the conversation. And if you had a question, um, just type in join.aabma.live. Come on up and ask a question, or ask us, or join the conversation and add some value. We definitely want to hear you. We welcome you all to join. The conversation, Jerron, I know you had to step away for a moment, was building intimacy with your partner. And my question was posed is that the question that I posed was this: how does a person, I'll say a woman in this case, how does a woman build intimacy with you?
Okay, so besides the normal things, of course, sex and all that those things. I'm old school, and I got to go back to my roots. And so, I was raised by my grandparents, and so I was raised in the church. And so, one thing that I think about when I think of intimacy is them being spiritually or religiously aware. And so, one of the most intimate things to me is when you can pray. So, praying together, or not being afraid to get on your knees, to surrender to God, get in front of Him, talk to Him about what you're going through, talk to Him about what you all are working towards together, praying to God about those things together in front of Him. I feel like a lot of times you don't find a whole lot of people that are willing to do that. Everybody doesn't pray, and of course, everybody has different religions and everything like that. But to me, I've always felt like that's one of the most intimate type of things where you can get on your knees and surrender to Him. And it's more special when you can do it with somebody. Of course, you can do it alone. You can pray to God on your own. You can pray to God about what you're dealing with, what you want in your life, what you want in your future, whatever you got going on currently. But when you can do it with a partner, where y'all on that same page, religiously or spiritually, and you all can do it together, I really truly feel like that takes your relationship to new heights. So that's the first thing I'll say. The second thing I would say is somebody that's emotionally aware. So me being the therapist and everything like that, I believe it's extremely important to be in tune with your emotions. And so I want to know that I can go to that person and, if I'm going through something, or I want to express myself to them, they can understand where I'm coming from. They can understand my point of view. They can understand my perspective. They can put themselves in my shoes and empathize with me from where I'm coming from. I feel like a lot of times, I feel like we struggle with that. We're not emotionally aware. We're not even aware of our own emotions. And so how are we going to be aware of somebody else's emotion? And so I want to be with somebody that can coincide with me emotionally, where I can kind of understand where they're coming from their emotions, and they can kind of understand where I'm coming from. And so I really feel like that point of view, or that perspective, it takes a lot in you, because you have to actually do a lot of soul searching to kind of understand your emotions, because you can understand why you're doing some things, but when you get down to the nitty gritty, you might not understand the emotions behind it or the motives behind it. So somebody that can get on their knees and somebody that's emotionally aware, those are two things to me when it comes to intimacy that I strive to want in a relationship.
And I appreciate that. So let me ask you, you and Clifford, and Clifford, I want you to chime in real quick. Give us a mini sermon at this time. Jesus. How often, Jerron and Clifford, is it? Do you? Here's a question: is it more commonplace, because I don't know everybody else's faith, right? Outside of Colin, Cliff, and Jerron, is it more commonplace for women to initiate prayer if you're having a difficult time, or do they wait for you to initiate and you be the leader in every aspect? Is that more commonplace that they do it, or is it more commonplace that you're the leader?
So
Are you talking about leading? Are you talking about leading a prayer? Or are you talking about suggestion of praying?
So is it more commonplace? Because I'm glad you came back. Is it more commonplace that a woman would initiate, when you're having a difficult time, or you have a thing that you got going on that you just want covering for, or is it more common that you do it more often than she does?
Somebody was about to speak on that.
I go
ahead,
quick.
Joanne.
So what I say is something that I've actually learned is that so some of my past partners, one thing that we've actually done is that we actually take turns doing it. So when we first started dating, or we initiated the first dating stages, we would go out to eat and do things like that, and she would look for me to initiate the prayer. Okay, well, you're going to pray and everything like that. But as time progressed, as we got to know each other a lot more, she would pray sometime, I would pray sometime. But one thing that I did notice and observe, and has been with all of my situations or relationships I've been in the past, is that if I'm going through something and they can sense that, because like I told you, I like to be with somebody that's emotionally aware, so they can understand where I'm coming from, or they can sense something's going wrong with me. When you get to know a person, you can tell when something's not right. And so that person, it gets to know me, and so they can tell when something's not right. Well, they'll say, "Hey, Jerron, and I can tell something's going on with you. What's going on with you? Blah, blah, blah." Okay, well, we can talk about it. Before we talk about it, let's pray. Let's pray about it. And so whether we on the phone, or we over FaceTime, or we in person, we take some time before and we'll pray about the situation. And then after get done praying about it, we'll kind of get into it and start to discussing it. So I've never really been, like I said, I've been in relationships and past situationships where I will initiate the prayer, and of course I don't mind initiating the prayer at all. But there have been times where sometimes we would take turns, or sometimes she would look for me to lead the prayer. But as we got to know each other a lot more, she could see my faith, and I could see it in her too, and we would just kind of sometimes take turns going back and forth with that.
I'll co-sign with that also, Chris. I don't think it's a rule that such and such should initiate her. Just like with Jerron, is just that energy. So my babe, she knows my energy too. Or should just simply ask me what's going on. Like that happened today too, because I did lose an important hard drive on the trip that still hasn't been found. And she could just tell, I had some on my mind. She was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I was just thinking about the hard drive again, because once again, I needed some stuff today from it, but then, you realize that, I don't have it. So it's like, I need to get it back and all that kind of stuff." So she was like, "Okay, you want to pray about it?" So she does that a lot. She actually initiates it more. So I lead the prayer, and that's more of just a religion thing. That's just a traditional thing that a man leads the prayer. So I will lead the prayer, but she's majority of the time, more than not, she initiates it. Because like Jerron said, she can sense the energies off or something like that, and it's like, "No, I'm just thinking about this." "Okay, you want to pray about it?" "Oh yeah, we can go ahead and pray about it." I very seldom decline a prayer. So,
before Cliff starts, he kind of touched on something that I've kind of had thought about and had discussion about, and as Cliff's gonna go, he may be able to speak on it too. Because it's kind of a thing where the man might supposed to lead in a prayer, man's supposed to speak. But for me, and the way that I see things, and I'm glad Cliff is here, I kind of view it as women have a different connection with God than we do, because God told Adam, but Eve recited it like she already knew. So I kind of feel like women have a different connection with God, so they may get just a straight feed straight from them. So to me, if a woman prays, it's not a slight for me. It doesn't feel like I'm not fulfilling my role, if you get what I'm saying. So I just wanted to see what you had on that, Cliff, what your thought is on that, as well with the other question that Chris had asked.
Particularly the woman having a, did you say different or closer relationship to God?
I want to say it's like a different connection. Like we hear about women's intuition all the time, right? That's one thing that we hear. And I feel like, and it's the feeling, it's not a knowing, it's a feeling. I feel like, God has to talk to us differently than when he talks to women. And I think women kind of get that energy, they get the knowledge, and it's just fed to them, a direct feed. Whereas for us, we have to hear it. You know what I mean? Like it has to be told to us, hey, this is what you need to be doing, brother. Don't eat of this fruit, of this tree. When Eve just got that feed, it didn't have to hear it audibly. She was able just to recite it.
Gotcha.
Because
Well, the thing is, Scripture suggests, number one, Scripture tells us that God told Adam, and which would suggest that Adam would have told Eve. So there is to speak to like the download versus like direct speaking to, I think that's relative, and I think that's really, Eve, if in fact Adam told her, then Eve didn't get a download. She heard her husband talk to her, had a conversation.
And that's where my question is because because it never said it. I'm like, well, that's another possible scenario. You know what I mean? But
what I will say is, our churches are packed with women and are bereft of men. So there is a big numerical disparity in the female to male ratio in church. And so women are much more emotional, and I shouldn't say much more emotional, pardon me. Women are not more emotional. Women are more submissive to God than men are. Men, God has to battle with the ego of man. Men, we think we made ourselves, and women are generally sensitive and humble enough to recognize that that's not the case, so they can feel differently, and they just submit differently. So women are more prone to be in the church.
Clifford.
Yeah.
Which is why I said, women seek the God in men more often not. They're submitting to the God in the man. I didn't mean to cut you off, but it just brought me back to that point.
Oh, absolutely. Because women don't want to lead in their relationships. They don't. It's not that a woman is incapable of being a leader. She can lead on the job. She can lead on the, in the household, and even she can lead in the relationship. She can, but it doesn't mean that her shoulders are made for that, and it doesn't mean that it's sustainable. It's not healthy. It's not what she wants to do. She wants to submit to a man. She wants to be, and when I say submit, I don't mean to be subservient or to have no voice or have no will or have no opinion. I'm not saying, hey, she's got to stand over the stove in a muumuu and cook your dinner and raise your kids and breastfeed all day long. I'm not saying that. I'm saying she wants to have initiative taken by the man, and she wants to fit within that. And so that is, but I know this is a tangent, so I'll just speak to this and I'll get back. Chris, I see you flexing. Go ahead.
You're good.
I'll be very brief. I'm just trying to answer Robert's question, but
no, you're good.
So no, I don't think it's a matter of women don't have any more ability or less ability to be close to God. I think we are wired differently, and societal norms and cultural norms they propagate men's pride and men's independence, and therefore we are harder to convert, and we are harder to get to submit, because we feel like we got it figured out, and we feel like we can go and we got to go out into this world and make it our own. Submitting to God, that concept to a man is not intuitive. That concept has to be taught, has to be broke down, that warrant has to be developed in man. Whereas submission, because women naturally submit to men, whether they know it or not, they're more prone to be submissive to God. And therefore, because they can submit to God, they can hear him. Whoever submits to God, male or female, hears God. whoever is proud and does their own thing and becomes their own buccaneer, the scripture says he resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. He'll talk to people who want to listen, and he'll ignore people who think they got it figured out. So I think a lot of cases that's men, Robert, to answer your question. Hopefully that speaks to that. So secondly, the question, Chris, I'm sorry I got off of it, man. I can't even remember what you asked.
You're good. I'll come back around to it. We do have Ashley in the slot one. We want to welcome you, Ashley. Welcome to Ask a Black Man Anything. We appreciate you for coming up.
She just fell out.
Oh, okay.
She was here. She cammed up.
Back up. Okay. Back. Go ahead. Yep. Ashley, if you can hear me, go ahead and.
No. She's not here. She's not here. I'll let you know when she comes back. She was in here waiting, and then she dropped out. It could be a connection. She cammed up
faster. See, I'm not switching between screens. You know, I'm doing like 17 things.
Oh, she said she's in
back though.
Okay. She's in the green room.
And Cliff, I want you to come back. Make sure you make some time for us next week. I want to talk to you, and that's a good topic that you had. You mentioned that men are not quick to submit to God as fast as women. And I'm curious, is it that men aren't quick to submit to God, or men are just sick of church? You know, and so the things that come along with church and pastor.
Open that can of worms.
No, that's why I said come back next week. We can talk about it next week because there's because church is void. Church in here in LA, I got we got a few mega churches out here. And my first marriage was the pastor's wife, so I was COO of a church, and I married the bishop's daughter, so I was in the church, I was building. So when I think about things that I experienced, and then I know, like Clifford is saying, that the church is void of men, I'm wondering, is it necessarily that brothers are not connecting with God, or is that they not connected with church? So we'll talk about that next week.
Did she cam back up, Chan?
No, she's not here.
Okay, with that being said,
she just put up. Let me pull her in.
Let me take a quick moment. Just want to say, welcome everybody in Clubhouse. If you're listening to our audio, I want you to also jump over to YouTube because you already got your phone in your hand. Type in the search, Ask a Black Man Anything, the title of this room. Make sure you're following the moderators here if you're there. And then go ahead and jump over to YouTube, Ask a Black Man Anything. With that being said, Tiffany?
No, Ashley.
Actually, I done put all kinds of names around. Welcome, Ashley, to Ask a Black Man Anything. Is that 1 Thessalonians 5:17?
Yes, it is. I have a movement called Drop and Pray. Yes.
And so welcome to Ask a Black Man Anything, Queen. What question do you have for us tonight? Or how did you want to add to the conversation?
Well, I wanted to add to the conversation. I think this is the first time for me, at least, to hear a collaborative of Black men actually engage around spirituality in this way, particularly around prayer. I was formerly married to a pastor, and there was a heavy amount of resistance to prayer within the construct of the home. And I think that what you all have shared so far has been so revolutionary as it relates to this idea of submitting to God. And for so long, I guess in some ways, my perception of the Black man has been a very performative way of engaging in love, not just with women, but with God as well. And so I just wanted to commend you, gentlemen, for engaging in a conversation that includes some sense of depth and spirituality around what it really means to connect with God and to be intimate with the women in your lives as a result of that. So that's all I had to contribute to the conversation. This is my very first time even knowing about this platform. So I am so excited to follow you all further on. So great job, gentlemen. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you so much, Ashley. We appreciate that. But let me throw this up there. Ashley mentioned something. She said it's refreshing to hear to have this, but she used to be married to a pastor and he was resisting to praying with her at all. Her pastor husband or ex-husband was resistant to praying with you, Ashley. Can you expound on that a little bit for us?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, the long and short of that was inadvertently there ended up being an affair that was happening amongst another woman at the church that we were attending as well. And so I believe that the resistance was really around the guilt piece. Look at his face. And so I think there were just, several nuances of what was happening early on in the marriage. And again, I got married really young, got married at 25 and recently divorced as of this year. And so, so I think obviously that was a huge proponent of that. And I can say as a younger woman, learning how to be married, how to build intimacy, I didn't really know how necessarily. And I did carry a lot of masculine energy just from being raised by a single parent and not really having opportunity to kind of do that dance between the masculine and feminine kind of engage of energy or spirit or whatever folks want to call it, but so that's kind of like a window into, I guess, a little bit more detail around what I was saying around that piece.
Sure. Let me ask a follow-up question. Do you believe as a woman, and I want you to understand this in reference to my question, if you don't feel that it is that you're in a place to answer it, it's perfectly fine for you to skip by it, okay? Do you feel that your masculine energy drove your relationship to an end? First question. And second question is, how long were you married?
So I'll answer the second question first. I was married for 7 years, and I cannot say that there was a lot of trauma. So my ex-husband just had a lot of trauma. His mom was on drugs, left him at the hospital, had to be raised by his father's side of the family, which was riddled with drug abuse and so on and so forth. So by the time we met, the week that we started dating, his dad actually passed away and he was an orphan at the age of 21. And so to go through so many traumatic experiences and then me being just unlearned in terms of how to create emotional intimacy in a relationship, inadvertently, do I take responsibility for his actions? Absolutely not. However, I can say as a woman, I did not have the skill sets in order to build intimacy because, quite frankly, I didn't take the time necessary to build intimacy with myself first. And so you can't take anyone else anywhere that you haven't been yourself. And so now, being a woman with 2 little girls who I am so proud to be an example for, really engaging in the idea or the nuance of being able to do a dance with more, I guess, my feminine side that I've embraced through just life experience. But I am woman enough to say that I was violently emasculating towards him very early on in the marriage. And while I don't take responsibility for his actions because he is a grown man, I do see how those actions can contribute to creating a hostile environment, thus pushing him in other directions.
So I'll say,
it's interesting. She says,
wow.
Oh, go ahead.
And I'm going to toss it to you. I'm going to say this. I just want to say wow, because you have done something that we always look for on our show. You've taken accountability for your actions. That's like the key word, the buzzword for us. Go ahead, Shan. What do you want to chime in at?
Well, no. I was just it was interesting when she mentioned that she got married really young, and then she said 25. So, and that was 7 years ago. So that means she's 32 today. And then she said that she didn't have the emotional tools to handle the things that she was dealing with at that age, and so emasculation came along with it and whatnot. But do you think that it was actually because you didn't have the tools? Do you actually believe that you were young, or you just picked the wrong dude? Do you think maybe because you saw, because I'm just saying, because I talk about red flags all the time, and a lot of times we always skip past a lot of red flags in people because we like something else about them, and we hope that they'll get over that, and we one day realize that they don't, and then we turn around and we blame ourselves for relationship failures when it's not really necessarily a failure. I don't think that you, just put it out there now, I don't think that you were young to get married, and I don't think that the tools that you think that you didn't have, you wasn't going to grow anyway. But who would have those at 25 anyway? The reality is you probably saw a lot of red flags and you skip right past them, pastor or not, you know, minister or not, or trying to go to church or not. The fact that he just a lot of drugs involved in his family. We know what comes with that and all those kind of things, but you liked him anyway, and you met him at 21, right? So you knew him for 4 years before you guys even got married. I'm doing the math. And so those things that you saw along that 4-year road before you actually jumped the broom, did you probably skip past some red flags and marry a guy that you probably shouldn't have married? Or do you really blame yourself like it sounds like you're doing? See, I think it's really mature that people take on responsibility, and like a lot of men say, women are not accountable for stuff. But some stuff y'all don't need to be accountable for. It's just my personal opinion. Some stuff you don't have to be accountable for. If you're gonna be accountable for anything, say, damn, I made a bad choice in guys. I'd rather hear that than say, well, you know what, I wasn't mature enough to know what I know now, and so, you know, that was my bad. Nah, I think you're bad. I think you were a normal 25-year-old woman who got with a guy that probably wasn't ready for marriage. But that's just my opinion. Do you believe that you were really too young? And do you believe that you may have ignored some red flags instead of what you're saying?
Yeah, I think there's a merging of both. I think, yes, absolutely, there were red flags that existed. And when I say I was young, meaning I didn't necessarily have the courage I have today to be able to make a decision around what was best for me, because I was struggling with this internal dialogue of abandonment. And so, yes, I saw red flags, and yes, I looked over them. And the other thing that really resonated with me as you were talking was this idea of like a trauma bond, which I learned more about through therapy, because he went through so much. Although there were red flags, and I'm a really empathetic person, I'm like, well, you know, and maybe, and then maybe turns into 4 years, and then I'm married, and then a year after that I'm pregnant, and then before you know it, all of my 20s are gone. And so I do agree with you from the vantage point of, do I blame myself? No. He needs a lot of healing, a lot of soul healing that needed to happen prior to us getting married. But I can say that had I just known more about myself and had built the courage and the esteem to make a decision prior to getting married, I wouldn't have gone through as much as I've gone through. So I think it's both that kind of play into that as well. And so now I do have another level of skill set really around being able to engage from the vantage point of, I am a woman of valor. I am a woman of integrity. I'm a woman of value. And so the standard that I have now is just so strikingly different than it was when I was 25. And so that's why I say when I was 25, I was young, because my courage was young, not my value.
Wow, that's incredible. And I want to salute you, because I mean, I'm gonna go on a limb, and obviously the math is there, right? At 32 and a single mom.
33. I turned 33 in July.
My bad. So are you a Cancer or are you a Leo?
I don't go by zodiac signs, but I'm a Cancer, if anyone wants to know.
Okay, that's fine. So first, I want to say I commend you really for
Cancers are the best,
sir, for finding us. The couple of the fellas are Cancers. They share the same, empathetic, issues. Loving, crybaby issue. No, I'm just playing. No, thank you. No, seriously, truly, thank you for coming up. I do want to know, how did you find us? Like, did somebody share it, or?
Yeah, you're such a businessman. You got to survey your audience. All right, so
I'm just curious. I want to.
I'm an entrepreneur. I appreciate it. So I was actually scrolling on Clubhouse. I was on Clubhouse. Okay. And I was just poking around in some things, and I saw that you guys were on, and so I decided to kind of click in and contribute to the conversation. And so, yeah, it's all good.
Because you don't owe nobody $100 just yet, you know.
Hey, at least she came to the stage, now, bro.
Watch this though. Here's what's crazy. I got a text or a message, Instagram. You know, people DM you, right? And they be like, "I'm gonna win that $100." So I'm gonna put it out there. All you got to do is bring 5 people to this conversation next week. You can do it. Anybody in the comments can. And and watch the broadcast from 2 weeks ago. I think it's 2 weeks ago now, or last week. Or watch them both because I don't remember when the contest rules were out. And I'm gonna give you $100. So if you want to buy your baby some new sneakers or some, she might need some, I don't know, whatever. Bring your friends, and I appreciate that. I typically am watching the clubhouse room, so I appreciate you for popping over to YouTube. I'm not sure if you are a commenter or subscriber, but I would love for you to hold on one second.
You bounce that real quick, Chris. You bounce them?
No, can you do it for me so I can do this part?
Sure.
Yeah, thank you. So I would love for you to continue to be here. You are as the ladies have already said, you are absolutely gorgeous. So a couple of questions. What city or state are you in?
Philadelphia.
Okay.
Pennsylvania.
And you're still single. So my follow-up question is, after married, have you started to learn what your new vetting process will be for the new person that you want to date?
Yeah, I've done a lot of just a disclaimer. I would consider myself, as some would say, a bookworm or a bit nerdy, and so studying the psychology and all of that. Um, but my newer vetting process is really around more observation than talking. And so when we talk about engaging in conversations with men now, for me, I'm really just observing behavioral patterns such as, how do you treat the waitress, or how do you respond to me setting boundary, because I am a big proponent of boundary now in a way that I haven't been before. Um, and really asking deep, meaningful questions that causes someone to really think about anything beyond the surface, right? I mean, I'm not a what is your favorite colors type of girl on the first date. I think it's lovely and, doesn't really give you a great deal of information. And one of the things that women, I think, do, and I've fallen prey to this, is just telling too much too soon. As a woman, you have to be astutely aware of protecting the sacred parts of you, the intimate parts of you, and building a momentum of trust through vulnerability. And when you share too much too soon, as a man, as I know him to be, really being very strategic around trying to figure out, if a woman is who she says she is, and, so on and so forth. Just really being more observing and asking deep, meaningful questions around vision, purpose, and just seeing how he interacts in all elements. So my biggest, I guess the key takeaway here is really just being more observant and not sharing too much too soon. And just showing up as myself.
I love it. I appreciate your feedback. If either you're being coached or you have done a lot of self work, one way or the other.
Finna coach me.
No, I mean, so that sounds like something
I am a coach. How about that?
See, you see, I kind of pick up on something. What do you coach? You're a dating coach?
Leadership.
Don't act like you didn't learn.
No,
You
not a
didn't, even coaches get coached.
I
Correct.
do. I have. Okay, so I'm not a dating coach. However, I'm more in the life or leadership kind of arena. But I have gone through a great deal of just personal development in my singleness. I've read a lot of books. I've gone through therapy. I've had life coaching. I've had business coaching, two different types of business coaching. I've changed my surroundings. I surround my people who really love me, who are positive, and who are going where I'm going. And so when you do that, you experience an exponential amount of growth. And so.
Perfect. You don't sound like you are from Philly. But fellas, any questions that you all wanted to ask her?
I'm actually from Baltimore. I'm from Baltimore, but I live in Philly.
Got it. Robert, go ahead.
All I wanted to do is just commend her and give her props and say, you know what, I really appreciate hearing somebody come up and speak as you spoke and talk about the things you talk about. It just like it's sometimes good for women to hear men speak the way we've spoken today. It's also good for us to hear someone who speaks as you did. So thank you and appreciate that.
Well, I know West has a question for her.
You have a question?
I do not. I have no shenanigans for the evening.
Fantastic. AC, what you got?
Yeah, no, I was gonna ask. First of all, I want to commend you for being so well spoken and articulate. Secondly, my question would be, what is your most toxic trait? So I feel like everybody has toxic traits, and I mean, you seem very well put together, but I would like to know the other side. Huh?
You about to say I'm perfect?
No, I'm not about to say I'm perfect. I think my counter question is, what do you define as toxic, or could I define? So how I define. Say it again.
I say, here we go with the disclaimers. Don't start dancing. I said, what do you consider your most toxic trait?
So I would say toxic or unhealthy trait would really be around how do I say this? I won't say giving too much, but like kind of, I'm an overachiever. So type A personality, I'm pretty sure that comes off in how I'm expressing myself now, but overachiever, kind of overworking, trying to overcompensate, overdo, because I'm a high achiever. And so when I talk about that in the context of relationships, I think how that's played out throughout the course of my life has really been, wanting things to be perfect. If, what's wrong with you? Nothing. I got to keep asking, well, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Those types of things is what I would think to be a recurring thing that has happened in relationship. But in general, it's just really been just overworking.
Okay, so can I jump in right here? Because
I already know what you're gonna say. Go ahead,
I know where Trill was going with this question. It's
he gave her the political answer.
It's kind of like when you go in the interview and they ask you, like, what do you need to work on? What do you think your weakness is? And they answer, oh, I work too hard. I'm too much of a hard worker. So, Ashley, can we get a negative? Something negative that you can improve upon to make positive. Can we get that?
I love too hard. That's my problem. I'm so tired. I love too hard.
I'm too committed.
I just give way too much.
Yeah. Just real quick. I'll give you mine. I'm a bit arrogant. And what I mean by that is I'm very stubborn. Sometimes I don't really like to listen to what somebody's saying. I'm vindictive would be another one that I'm working on. And that's took a lot of self-work to get to where I am relationship-wise with that trait, and that's still something that I struggle with. So I would say my most toxic trait would be the fact that I'm very vindictive in terms of relationships. So that's the example of what I mean.
Okay.
So let me give you my two. I'm petty. Like super petty,
hella petty.
Like, so I'm gonna tell you an example, and I'm gonna tell you my second one. My second one is arrogance too. But I had a young lady that was working for me. Before she started working for me, she was we were dating. We stopped dating, and so she said, want to cease our communication. Yeah. So she emailed me and said, "Hey, I need you to drop me from your company so I can move on." I decided I wasn't going to email her back for a couple of days. You know why? Petty. She said, "Don't communicate." So why would I? Anyway, go ahead.
Petty.
Go ahead, Shaheed.
I'm always on my high horse. Literally and figuratively, like
unintended.
Double entendre.
Yeah. Like for me, you know what I mean? It's like it's my world and you just a person in it. You know what I mean? And that sometimes I gotta realize I gotta adjust and I gotta be in other people's world at times. So that's me.
Ashley,
Yes.
I just figured it out.
Yeah, I know you. Right.
Yeah, because your face looks familiar. I kept like for the longest, I was just like, where have I seen her before?
Seen her, yeah.
But it was the virtual event. You was at the sales event, the stillborn.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you said a prayer.
Yes.
For Sadija for her event.
Yep.
It literally just popped in my head. I was like, that's where I know her from. I was like trying so hard for like the last 15 minutes to try to remember, like, I've seen her somewhere. You look familiar. So yeah, I was the company that did her event last year. So I remember you said a prayer for the event. So good to see you again. Full circle moment.
Good to see you as well. I think I'm resonating with what you guys are saying in terms of my more toxic trait. I would say I just have a short window of patience, and so I don't have a lot of patience for error or recurring things that are happening over and over. And to be completely transparent, because I was married before, I just certain things I just don't have patience for, and so I know that there's a grace and a window to kind of grow and develop, but I'm even more kind of short with that window of patience now than I was before.
Question: How do you respond to something that you have negative patience for? You don't seem like the type to yell and get real loud and active. Like, what's your response? Is it distance?
It used to feel like you are interviewing me. Okay.
Yeah.
I would
ask questions. These are things that I want to know. I don't like the surface level stuff. I like to get real deep.
Yeah.
I have no doubt she yells. Go on and tell the truth, shame the devil. You can get very hostile and yell.
Now let me tell you. Now I don't yell anymore. Now the younger version of me anymore. I cannot tell you the last time that I've come out of character in that regard. But what I can say is when I am triggered in that way, I can get highly kind of intellectual and a little bit condescending, talk really fast, and kind of just be on my own, kind of like, I don't need you, like, get out my face.
But it hasn't been tested because you really guard your heart now, and that's why the reason it's not that you haven't yelled. It's like you said that you're not capable of it. Even still, it's just simply that you don't let anyone get that close to you to be able to provoke that. I see you.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's good.
Or I done my work.
Clifford might be professionals, but I do this on the side. It's my side hustle, psychology.
Wow, that's good, Wes. That is super good. So I want to thank you, Ashley, for being with us tonight. I think we dug a little deep. Wes wants to ask you, do you like the mud wrestle?
No, listen, stop. Hold on.
I just got to lead into it, Wes.
Ashley, no. Ashley is a lady, and I am a changed man. I haven't mud wrestled for at least 24 hours. So I will not be asking you that question, Ashley. Thank you.
Right. So actually, actually, we are here every Thursday.
Ashley don't even know what's going on. She's like, what?
No. So we are
like
here
some type
every
of protocol conversation going on. I'm just kind of observing it all.
So I'll fill you in. Every week that somebody comes to the conversation, Wes asks, do they like to mud wrestle? So, but he has such an intangible way of alluring you into his mud wrestling trap that he does it quite masterfully. And so it's a joke. You got to watch some of the previous broadcasts in order to kind of get it. But we appreciate you for coming to the stage and sharing with us. I think one of the things that you said that I want to highlight is that no one really cares what your favorite color is when we're on a date. It is more important to know how you deal with your traumas, more important to know how you process your anger or your shortness of communication. Or or the other things that matter in life. And so we appreciate you. I want to personally, as the host here, to thank you for joining us tonight on Ask a Black Man Anything, as well as the other fellas. We are here every Thursday night at 9:15 Eastern, and 6:15 Pacific. You can also follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter,
Facebook,
Cash App, Facebook, and TikTok. I'm trying to think of all of them. Like, I swear, where else are we? I think I'm missing one, but you find us on all social media. Share with your friends the the pages. Let your friends know that you were on that you Mama, I made it right. So we appreciate you for joining us tonight. And with that said, fellas, I think that this has probably been one of the best shows. Kind of
Thought
reminiscent
we
of
had
day.
somebody in queue still.
Mm-mm, we don't
We
have
do.
it.
Yeah, we
She's
do.
been waiting, pacing. Destiny.
Oh,
Destiny.
Destiny.
let's
Oh,
go.
Yeah.
Got like 2 minutes. So Destiny, thank you, Ashley. We want to
Hi,
welcome
Jeff.
now Destiny to ask a black man anything. Um, good night, Queen.
why are you biting your lip, Chris?
I'm saying that whole look, bro.
Why
Like,
why why why
what was
why
that?
why you
As
biting
long as
your why you
outside
biting
with
your
her.
lip? Why
My
you
Nick
biting
put
your
his
lip
smooth
saying goodbye to
operator
Ashley?
voice on.
My mind went somewhere, and I'm in Florida right now doing my
Bible
business.
Doing
study.
your stuff. Yeah,
Bible
yeah.
study.
Somebody
Okay.
in the comments said,
Bible study.
Somebody in the comments said, why is Chris's voice getting so low right now?
Oh, that said that, and then he got it. Then he biting his lip, talking about goodbye.
Yeah.
Talk to you later.
What happened? What kind of spirit jumped
Oh
on you?
my god.
In the evening, Chris turns into Quiet Storm,
Mm.
and that is the tone. Whoever, I bet you I know who said it. $100. It was Smarrell. Is that who said? Shan, put that comment up there. Put that comment up there. I bet you it was Smarrell. Either Smarrell or Leah. Don't roll your eyes, Smarrell. You know I love you, Queen. I miss you too. Anyway, um, who do we have in slot two?
Destiny. Welcome, Destiny.
Yes.
She's live. She's ready.
Okay, Destiny, welcome to Ask a Black Man Anything. We are happy that you were able to join us tonight. Um, how are you doing this evening? Destiny, you have to unmute your mic there, Queen.
She's unmuted. She just needs to speak. Destiny, you there? Destiny.
Colin gonna do a countdown. Destiny in 5.
Oh, that's been the show, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in this evening.
That Colin patience is this thin. Destiny, can you hear us, Queen?
Bedtime.
All right.
She bounced. She bounced out.
Yeah, let's get her next week. Destiny, if you're still watching the show, come back up next week.
No, she's back. She's back. Hold on. She's back.
Destiny, welcome to Ask a Black Man Anything. Can you hear my voice?
Destiny, are you there? She may be having some difficulties. So. She's not cammed up, but she's in there and her mic is off. So, Destiny, come back.
She has.
Destiny, come over to Chris's voice if you can hear Chris's soothing voice. Come on over and just follow it in here.
Yeah, I try that going forward. Got to try my what's that you call it, Chris? Late night midnight radio voice.
Quiet storm voice.
Quiet storm voice.
So here's what happened, AC. You know when we used to go to like 2 or 3 in the morning, way back, right? When in the other brand days,
Other brand days.
I was tired, and so it's like my voice drops, my words slow, and just gets a little calculated. So have a tendency to turn it on, and it's so funny. Robert is the main person. He'll say, "Yo, Chris is in his bag. Let that man get in his bag." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So whatever. Anyways,
I know how it is. I get that deep voice too. I do that. I get that late night laying down voice, but I don't do it on. I don't do it on.
check it off mute on the show. Okay, Destiny Queen, just come back next week. Come back next week. We'll be here. You know we're here every week, and thank you.
Yeah, when you guys cam up, there's a little option at the bottom of the screen that lets you select your microphone input, and it also lets you select which camera. You can use the front camera on your, if you're using a smartphone, you can use the front camera or the rear camera, the selfie camera, and then it also lets you select your microphone. But oftentimes people have headphones plugged in, or they have Bluetooth plugged in, and the microphone is selected on a device. It's sometimes you just parked your car and your stuff is connected to your car, and it'll be listening to the microphone in your car out in the parking lot or out in the front yard, and you'll be talking in your phone because that mic is selected. So always make sure whenever you guys cam up or come on live, you when you click it, you select the settings to make sure that you're using the microphone on the device that you're actually using. That's all it was, though. But we'll talk to you next week. We're here every week.
Fellas, I don't know if y'all realize this, but with Ashley, when she came on tonight, one thing that stuck out to me, what she said was she just found our show tonight, and she came on camera, and she wanted to add to the conversation. Here we are, episode 12. We've had religious followers, Leah, Smarell, and y'all have yet to come on, but yet Ashley came on for the first time and hopped on right away, and y'all have been trying to get your bonnet straight, getting your makeup straight for like 12 episodes.
And
y'all still haven't come on.
It's easier to yap in them comments, man. Bright lights, everybody.
I'm just letting y'all know we see y'all.
Everybody can't perform under the bright lights, man.
The pressure. I really wanted to get to that other topic we had too, but we out of time. Yeah.
So let's go ahead and close this thing out.
Chris, come on, man. You gotta kill it, man.
I mean, go run a lap or something. You gotta run a lap or something,
My dude can't sleep, bro. You trying to finish strong,
outro in podcast history.
Wow.
Park your outros and let's get on out here.
Wes, go.
I'm Wes Stewart, located in Los Angeles, California, filmmaker. It has been a pleasure to be back with my brothers, especially seeing Clifford, who we haven't had the opportunity to experience lately. Pleasure being with you again tonight, brother. My brother Colin, it's a pleasure to have you back and have you well. Gentlemen, let's do it again. I'm looking forward to the next one. Robert.
Fellas, it's been a great show. This is definitely something I appreciate. I like the way the show went to me today. And I'm especially thankful to see my brother Colin here in good health, and a special shout out to Cliff. I love it when Cliff is here and he's able to give his input. Everybody else, y'all know I already love y'all, but I see you all the time, so I'm not gonna give y'all special thank yous. Just I really appreciate all y'all as well.
We don't need it from you. We got it from Chris earlier.
Basically, we did. We got all the mushy from Chris. Robert Longmire, Bakersfield, California. This was a great show. I can't wait to do it again. I'm Thursday night football might be better next week, so I might not pay that much attention. But I can't wait till next week get here so we can get another show going. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it to Jerron.
All right, so I'm Jerron. Great show tonight, guys. I enjoyed it as always. As I always say, self-love is the best love. Do something nice for yourself this weekend. And I want to end by saying, go Patriots. We're going to need it this weekend, bro.
I don't even know why you're trying, bro.
Hey, we're going to need it, bro.
Jerron, don't come back next week.
Yeah, you're gonna be mad. Jerron going to be cussing at the screen.
Colin Hardiman.
I'm sorry. I'm going to pass it over to Colin.
All right. Thank you, Cancer Buddy. Colin Hardiman, Screwston, Texas. And, really appreciate the show. But yeah, big shout out to my man Clifford. Really appreciate having his presence here. Love this brother to death. And great man of God. And I love all my bros. But like Robert said, I haven't seen Cliff in a while, so it's great to see you on the show again. Just bringing your perspective and that God energy. Really appreciate it. Appreciate everyone, our audience members. Keep inviting everyone to please tune in, and we're here every Thursday. I'm gonna pass it over to my H-Town resident partner, Trill.
Sir, appreciate it. Trill AC. Hell of a show. As always, I feel like there's a lot of substance in this. Like there's a lot of clips that should be good for TikTok and other places. So definitely looking forward to that. But
Trill want us to get on that TikTok train bad.
Huh?
We're already on
Trill
TikTok.
Be selling
man.
some TikTok. I know we are, but we don't post. Trill be selling that TikTok. He wants us to get on that. Trill got the cheat sheet to that TikTok. He wants us to help him use it.
Wait a minute. So AC, are you saying you want to manage our TikTok account?
He got no time to manage my TikTok account, man.
I'm just saying, because clearly.
Right.
He said you want to manage the account.
Hey Chris, before you finish, Trill, what happened to your voice, sir?
When?
Continue, Trill.
A couple seconds ago.
I know, right? Where he come from?
I had it in the clubhouse room. So.
But
Trill, please continue, sir.
Yeah, look, man, follow me, DTrillAC, on Instagram, Twitter, Crew Season, everywhere. Make sure y'all check us out, man. Again, hell of an episode, man. I appreciate y'all having me, as always.
Trill act like a lonely cousin that he don't want us to be around.
It's on me. Shaheed Muhammad out of Los Angeles, California. Always a pleasure. Good to have you back, Cliff. Good to have you back, Colin. And glad you're back in good health. It was a fun night, fellas. Like it was said before, it was a lot of substance to tonight. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to next week. If anybody got anything, if I said something and you'd like me to expound on anything, my DMs are open for conversation. I enjoy having dialogue with different people, different schools of thoughts and whatnot. So feel free to reach out, P0STA on Instagram. It's really where I only frequent, pretty much. Who's next? Everybody went. Favorite Black Cowboy signing out. Oh, go ahead, Cliff.
All right. Hey, everybody. Classic job tonight, gentlemen. Take a bow. Each and every one of you, take a bow. Man, I love being here with y'all doing this. So good to be back. I'm very busy, so I'm not able to dedicate as much time to this environment as I would like to. But anytime I'm able to come, it is nothing short of enriching, fulfilling, exciting, humorous, and you guys all add unique ingredients and nutritional value to this environment. So thank you all. I love each and every one of y'all. We gotta get this in-person trip, this fellas trip together at some point. It's a priority of mine. I'll move whatever I have to move off my calendar to pull it off. So y'all name the date, time, and place, and I'll make sure it's reserved because y'all mean that much to me. Thank you. And thanks for being here tonight. Clifford Clark. All my information is online. You can follow me at Clifford J. Clark on all social media platforms. You can, also my website for my clinical practice, transparent-counseling.com. One Psychology Today, Black Men, therapy for Black men. If you Google me, I'm not hard to find at all. So, hey, this was great. And, thanks to the young lady that showed up on stage, her comments. She was very just lit in her contribution to tonight's discussion. And so we just appreciate her for coming on as well. And to everybody in the comments, man, they had me rolling in the comments. One of the girls said, it's weird hearing Chris flirt. I think you got some people who pick at you, Chris. You got a few people who give you noogies. But yeah,
I can't wait to talk about that lip bite, boy.
Chris, that was a wild lip bite, bro. That was a really wild lip bite. I'm gonna have to talk with you about that offline.
My mind went to a place, so.
But no, hey, it's over, man. I'm done talking. I love y'all, and let's do it again. I'm gonna try to get here next week. Shannon, I'm so eager, very, very eager to speak to what you brought up tonight. So I'm gonna do everything I can to prioritize to get back for that very necessary conversation.
Yes, sir.
And before Darth Vader goes, I'd just like to say, Clifford, it was good having you in the building. These dudes, these gentlemen, these fine young men have been on their best behavior tonight because you were in the building. I have a sneaky suspicion that you were the inspiration for this beautiful, heartfelt, emotional conversation that went forth. It's unheard of in this space.
Y'all tell me at any point if y'all want me to mute his mic.
I heard y'all was wilding out a little bit in my absence. So I told Chris earlier, I said, when the cat's away, the mice will play. Y'all was y'all was acting crazy. But no, man, I love all y'all. Wes, you my guy, Colin, Drill, Shahid, I can name all y'all, Jerron. Y'all already know. I love all y'all, man, and I'm happy to be here tonight. So thanks for making this a healthy environment. If we're gonna do this, fellas, we never need to forget why we are doing this. May we never forget how we started doing it and the clientele base that we were drawing in and the lives that we were changing. We never did this for money. We never did it for popularity. Some of you may have, but I didn't find out about it. But I was doing it because we were helping people. We were changing lives. We were giving women and men healthy advice. We were being outliers in a world of pandemonium and negativity and all the rest. We were distinguished Black men, educated, professional, qualitative builders. We had that, and that's what set us apart on Clubhouse. May we never forget those roots, and may that always be the tenor of what we do.
Take it away, Darth Vader.
Amen.
Take it
away, Darth Vader.
How do you follow up with that?
Luke, I am your father.
You dropped your voice real low. You drop your voice real low. You bite your lip and you say, "This is for the ladies."
I'm not the producer, sir.
Let me give you an example.
Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. We appreciate you. My name is Shannon Rawls. Please follow my YouTube channel. I have a podcast. I go live every day. All you got to do is search my name, Shannon Rawls. We appreciate you guys coming out. We do this every Thursday. We're considering ramping it up and doing it every Tuesday and Thursday, or maybe another night that's more conducive to everybody's schedule. Because people are asking for more and more of this Ask a Black Man Anything. Even though not too many people ask a Black man anything, we're going to either bring you some discussions that are very fun, or like the locker room talk is people are asking us for locker room talk, because I think it's just a matter of people like to hear brothers speak. And a lot of us, we just say what's on our minds, and we're very thankful that you guys are even interested in hearing what we have to say. So thank you so much. Again, my name is Shannon, right here in Los Angeles, California. I saw some of those comments that you ladies was out there. Some of the ladies in the comments needed a spanking, and I got big hands, so I'll tell you guys about that. Chris, go ahead, big dog.
Well, can I say something, Chris, before you go? Because I know you're gonna end it out real fast. But since I got Clifford here, and I'm gonna try to be real quick. I haven't done this in a minute.
Before you do that, can you text Kelly your points, because she's gonna remind you of them, because she asked on the broadcast, did you write down your points? Kelly is being the woman that you need, and you need to drop the rest of them and go get Kelly Ware in DC. I vote for that. I mean, have you seen her in the swimsuit? I'm just saying.
Let me get to what I was gonna say now. Damn, Chris. What I was gonna say was, since Cliff is here, definitely. There's someone that I know, and I've been kind of involved with this project that's happening. There is a short film that's being produced. It's going to come out. It's going to be shot around January, December. It is based on the book Song of Solomon out the Bible. It's showing true Black love. It's showing real Black love. It's showing all those intimacy things that we just talked about without actually showing any of the actual physical aspects. It doesn't show anything sexual. For me, when I had the chance to hear the script being read, it's mind-blowing the amount of love that is actually in the Bible. It's mind-blowing the amount of intimacy that's in the Bible. And we seem to skip over that, and we don't really get to talk about it much. Search it up, Solomon's Mood. You can search it up on YouTube. It's going to be produced by a lady named Trafina Wade. Everything that she's done has been awesome that I've seen. So definitely, you guys, if you're in the audience, Cliff, definitely check that out. I think you would actually appreciate it as well. I just wanted to put that out there. Chris, thank you for letting me steal some more time.
Next time I'm going to just mute your mic when you do that.
Hey, Chris, can you speak up, Chris? A little louder, brother.
Hey, for real. I don't need you to talk to me with that voice, man. I don't need that voice.
Watch your tone, Chris.
Say that for your barber, bro.
You bring that up. You're so toxic. So Clifford, we are actually planning March 17th through the 21st, 2020, Houston.
2020? That was last year.
2022.
All of
We're trying to do 2020 over.
Whatever year is the next one coming.
Oh.
All of my years we had a whole blip year, so please forgive me.
That's all right.
Yeah. My bad for not being homiletically exegetical correct, sir.
So 2022, March 17th, is that right?
Yeah, but see, if you follow the back channels, you'll see that's in the back channel.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
You don't have to text me every week for the room. Please do your 10-second drop so that we can add it to our Instagram page, so we can add it to our TikTok page, because we're going to give the controls of our TikTok page over to AC, because apparently he's on TikTok better than everybody else. You know, what I've learned in leadership is that when someone mentions that they can do it, you know, they will make time. So apparently we're just going, Shan, we're going to add him to our social media pages, because anyways, I also have a couple of clips I need to send you, Shan. And so you can doctor them up. I don't know how my skills are, but whatever, I got them. Y'all know me, Chris Davis. If you are in the audience, I don't know who's here or not. It doesn't really matter. But we are planning for March 17th through the 21st. We're going to do Ask a Black Man Anything live. And here's the deal. We want you to start telling your friends, because we want your friends to come and see all of our good and our bad. See how we protect women, see how men stand up and give information, honest information. And I don't care what Clifford said. I'm here for the money. Shan and I we already discussed it. So, right. You know, we're going to start cutting checks. So if you don't want the check, we'll split yours between Shan and I, and then sow a 10th to the church. That way you can just say hallelujah. Bless you, hallelujah. Okay, because if a 10K check come my way, I'm not saying no. But thank you for also keeping Shan in check, Cliff, because you know Shan be over here wilding. You know, he listened to you. So,
hey, y'all been rough on Shan tonight, man. Y'all got to come up off my voice.
No, listen. The one thing I appreciate about Shan, and I said it earlier, Shan is who he is, regardless, and I love it. Like, to be an entrepreneur, you gotta have cojones, right? You can't, like, anybody can go and get a job. But to reinvent yourself, and I mean, Shannon said he does fashion, he does film, he does produce, he does it. To reinvent yourself, I don't know how many times, and then, you know, to do what he does. Shannon, don't go away. Anyways, Chris Davis
dropping a cheer. Yeah, they'll get to walk that away.
Eating chips. Speaking of eating on the broadcast, let me talk about that.
Oh, bro, I'll be hungry. Hey, I was told to eat, but somebody told me, hey, you need to eat. So,
was it Kelly? Okay. If it was Kelly, I'm with it. Drop that out there. Anyway, no, man. Anyways, man, Shan, take us out of here, man. Chris Davis, Atlanta, Georgia, out by way of Buffalo, New York. Thank you for coming to Ask the Black Man Anything. We're gone. Let's go. See you next week.
Clifford and audience, for ease, I'm dropping that Solomon's Mood link in the chat right now.
Okay, drop it.
I might have to copy it because it didn't work right, but it's still there.
No emergency.
Y'all fun. Nah, there ain't no emergencies tonight. But that was cool.
Funny.
That was a good broadcast. They was banging on me for not talking. I'm trying to be, I don't normally talk, do I?
So no, you just had to put in. You just had to put in.
Here's the thing. Last week you spoke with passion and conviction, and a lot of times women don't realize that men have as much passion and conviction when we believe what we believe. And when you speak with passion, a lot of times what they think is you're being toxic, and it's not toxic. You just have passion. But let them talk about makeup or hair.
Who hurt Shan? Clip last week they were saying who hurt Shan? Who hurt Shan? Who hurt Shan? I'm like, why I gotta be hurt?
Beyonce or something like that, or they baby daddies. They poor choices, and they passionate about. I'm never going back to a man that they can speak with passion there too. But man, I just think you got to make it even. Like you really, and that tells you that you might not know a man. If you've never seen a man.
We know y'all can still hear us.
Thank you.
What it is.
So we gonna look. Are we gonna talk about Ashley or what? When we gonna talk about Ashley and Chris?
No, we're not.
We gonna talk about Ashley and Chris. We gonna talk about Ashley and Chris. Ashley come up here with them cute braids, that cute smile, and Chris and changed his voice and got deep. We gonna talk about that.
Everything just
real quick.
She came up with it before she can even say something. Chris is reading her hoodie, complimenting her on her looks. Okay, Chris, don't get all quiet now, Negro.
You tripping.
Well played, Chris. Well played.
You tripping.
All right.
I'm good.
Mm-hmm. Everybody can't see it. If only everybody can see that photo you just showed us.
That's why I wasted the him. I ain't stupid.
Hey, don't trip though. Robert was pulling up right behind you for Ashley though. He ain't slick. Robert ain't slick.
Robert did not do anything, and he pleaded the fifth.
That's why you try to put that religious movie in there, bro, so she can hear you.
Bye.
Hey, but for real, when that thing comes out, y'all gotta check it out. Y'all think I'm mushy watching that's gonna be a hit. That's gonna be really something.
Robert is not pining for Kelly, and Kelly wants Robert super bad.
Kelly wants Robert?
Yes. He said it last week.
Kelly wants Robert. Smarell wants Chris.
No.
Leah wants Trill.
And 98% of the people trying to mud wrestle with
Tia P. Tia P wants Shaheed. Ashley wants Wes. Carla wants Chris.
No.
Yes, he do.
I know who
Carla
wants. I know who Carla wants.
Carla wants Chris.
I know who she wants. I done narrowed it down. I got it.
She ain't. It ain't me. But we gonna leave that alone.
Have y'all actually seen these favorites, these staple ladies that y'all naming? Have y'all actually seen these people?
10 seconds.
No. I wish we did though.
Bye,
everybody. The music is over.